represents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome wife of NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Labonte, Kristen
Happy Easter,
Labonte.
everyone. Mine is the Toyota Owners 400.
Thank you for bringing us together here at Richmond Raceway on this amazing Easter Sunday. Help us live every day in your grace and your glory, and let you guide our journeys here at the track and beyond. May we all believe in the happiness and the hope of Christ. Today, Lord, we pray for a good day for the drivers and the teams, the officials, and the glorious fans. Let the truth of your word show us the way, and let your joy fill all our hearts. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome four-time Grammy Award-winning artist Michael Tate.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Drivers have been introduced. They are getting ready for action. We have to deal with Mother Nature, but we are confident that we are close to getting the Toyota Owners 400 underway.
This season, Toyota Racing is looking for jugglers.
Aha!
Not the ones who toss balls or rings. Fans that can juggle the rigors of a 10-month-long season across many different racing circuits.
Well, what if I added knives?
What if you added GR Cup, Formula Drift, and off-road racing? If you can juggle it all, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. Formula Drift is a registered trademark of Formula Drifts Holdings, LLC.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
Jeff Striegel, Alex Hayden, and NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace are standing by topside. When we can come back, they will take the reins and will lead us through tonight's Toyota Owners 400. From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin both.
We're on pit road.
4 tires and up the racing field. The race up from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
Feel like you're in the driver's seat and never miss a second of the race action with Racing Electronics. Racing Electronics scanners allow you to listen in on uncensored audio from your favorite drivers, spotters, and crews the entire race. Hear team strategy with critical passes, dangerously close calls, and all the pit stop drama. To learn more, visit them at racingelectronics.com. Be race ready. Be RE equipped.
Today at the Richmond Raceway, the NASCAR Cup Series early season short track swing continues with a stop in the capital of the Commonwealth of Virginia. 2 weeks ago at Bristol Raceway, the first short track stop featured extreme tire wear, forcing drivers to tap into their tire conservation skill sets. Today at Richmond, Kyle Busch expects the same to be the case, just not to the extent of Bristol, but drivers will be forced to practice restraint and the finesse that goes along with it.
That's essentially what you got to do. You just got to ride and try to maintain your pace as best as you can without slipping a front tire, without slipping a rear tire, with just kind of keeping the car underneath you. So that's the biggest thing here, of being able to do the same thing, but instead of it being at a 50% level like Bristol was, here you can probably do it at an 80 or 85% level.
Live from Richmond, the NASCAR Cup Series Toyota Owners 400. Next.
Live on the Motor Racing Network, it's the NASCAR Cup Series.
Taking a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Go boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Tonight, the Toyota Owners 400 from Richmond Raceway, sponsored by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit toyotaracing.com. By Geico. Geico's mobile app has 24/7 claim service and on-the-go policy info. It's easy to Geico. By Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. By Liberty University. Enter to win one of several scholarships at liberty.edu/24. By O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. By Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR and home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff. By Progressive Insurance. For a job you'll love, visit progressive.com/careers. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuel helps your car reach peak performance.
Expecting to start on time.
36 teams, 400 laps, 300 miles, race 7 of the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. This is the Toyota Owners 400, live on the Motor Racing Network. My name is Jeff Striegel, joined in the broadcast booth by Alex Hayden and 6-time Richmond Raceway winner and NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. Tonight it is short track racing under the lights and on hold.
Yeah, it is. It is on hold. The Toyota Tundra track drying team out there as they continue to try to get some of the moisture off the racing surface. So that puts us in a hold and gives us a golden opportunity to go back to pit road and visit with some more drivers, including the driver who won at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway here in 2024, his one and only win, at least to this point in the season. That driver's name, Kyle Larson, and he's with our Steve Post.
Kyle is the defending winner of this race, and yeah, the Toyota Tundra track drying team, they're just like huge squeegees, the way that they move the water down the racetrack, and they're right down here in turn 1 by Kyle's car, and they're making their way down, just kind of cleaning the racetrack. So Kyle, looks like we're working on getting the track dry here. You won the pole yesterday, 120.332 miles per hour. How good do you feel about your race car here for 400 laps tonight?
Yeah, I think it's decent. I don't really know until we get racing though. So obviously conditions are going to be much different than we've ever had here at Richmond to start too. So try and feel things out, and then just take it easy and wait for the track to dry and get after it then. So yeah, I don't really know. I'm just ready to get going, I guess.
How much does this racetrack change over the course of a race?
I wouldn't say it typically changes much throughout a race, but throughout a run, just your tire wear and tire temp, it gets really, really slick after 10, 15 laps. It's usually really difficult to drive. So yeah, it makes it tough. On corner exit, you get really loose into both ends. So although this might be one of the slowest paced tracks we run, it's definitely up there on the most difficult too. So yeah, just try to get a hang of it here.
We'll see what happens with it. Kyle Larson, slow pace, difficult racetrack, uber talented driver. He's going to lead us to green. Jason?
Christopher Bell getting ready to jump behind the wheel of his Mobil 1 Toyota as he gets some help from the crew, getting strapped in here as he gets suited up, drying off the feet. They don't want to have any moisture on the feet as they get ready to jump behind the wheel here. And I'll tell you what, guys, one of the big things here too is making sure that windshield has got some Rain-X, a little bit something to kind of make the beading go off, because there is no windshield wipers on this package that we have here, and also no deflectors on the wheel wells too for the wheels. So Christopher, you get ready to roll out here, bud. what do you anticipate here on this thing, especially with this wet condition?
Chaotic. I don't think anybody really knows what to do, but yeah, I mean, I think this is perfect conditions to run these tires, so see what happens.
All right, there you go. He's going to see what happens. Not the best qualifying effort that they had hoped for, but you know what? They got a very fast Toyota. They'll roll off from 29th here for Christopher Bell.
And by the way, we are 3.5 minutes away from the command. That's right. We are getting ready to go here at Richmond.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau. I like a certain je ne sais quoi. While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime.
They have the rain tires ready.
Cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Welcome to Martinsville. Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, April 5th through the 7th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
Wet weather tires are on these race cars. We're 2 minutes, 15 seconds away from the command. We'll explain when we come back from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Again, wet weather tires are on these race cars. We're 45 seconds away from the command. The track is damp. Alex Hayden, we're ready to go.
We absolutely are. There are no windshield wipers. There are no flaps on the back wheels. So therefore, we will not race if there's heavy spray. The rain has stopped. There's some blue sky overhead. As a matter of fact, the Bandit flight team coming directly at us doing a second pass by. There is a rainbow over behind turns 1 and 2 in that grandstand area. It's turning into a beautiful evening to go racing, and I think Christopher Bell nailed it. Nobody really knows what to expect when the green flag flies soon.
That is Alex Hayden. To his left is NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. My name is Jeff Striegel. You've heard from Steve Post and Jason Toy. Mike Bagley coming up very shortly. Now, what you've been waiting for, a trip downstairs. It's time for the command here at Richmond.
Richmond Raceway, this is the moment you have all been waiting for. Are you ready to get this NASCAR Cup Series Toyota Owners 400 started? Here to give the command to fire engines, please welcome tonight's Toyota Owners 400 Community Heroes representing Special Olympics Virginia. The proud owner of a 2022 Toyota RAV4, Izzy Nelson, and her uncle, Special Olympics athlete Brian Beck.
Drivers, start your engines!
Ooh, good command.
Engines begin to come to life on the pit lane, getting closer and closer to putting the NASCAR Cup Series on the Richmond Raceway as we get set for the Toyota Owners 400.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that.
We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Give us a follow. The Motor Racing Network is on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. We've got links to all our podcasts, MRN Radio race broadcasts, and NASCAR news and information. Video podcasts on MRN's YouTube and Facebook. On X, use the hashtag AskMRN to connect with us and our award-winning race announcer. Give us a like, post a comment, share a podcast. Just search for MRN Radio. The Motor Racing Network on all your favorite social media outlets.
From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun,
Parade laps getting underway,
and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of
Let me
abilities,
refresh. Let me
serious
get the raw
illnesses,
feed up,
and chronic
please.
medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every kid
come
build a
on,
foundation
really?
to live their
Still
best
showing the
life.
lineup?
Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
The 2004 NASCAR Cup Series championship was won in dramatic fashion.
Well, they changed right side tires only. The entire wheel came off.
But what happened throughout the year is what makes it one of NASCAR's biggest seasons. Hear all the stories on NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History. This week on Chasing History.
And I told everybody to listen, look, Carl Edwards is the guy that should be in this car.
Get the latest episode of NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History at MRN.com or on your favorite podcast platform.
Motor Racing Network is live at Richmond Raceway here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Incidentally, there are 4 states in the United States that call themselves Commonwealths. The Commonwealths are just like any other state in their politics and laws, and there is no difference in their relationship to the nation as a whole.
Let me
the
try
4
this one.
Commonwealths, well, obviously right here in Virginia. There's Massachusetts, there's Pennsylvania, and there is Kentucky. We're in the capital city of the Commonwealth of Virginia here in Richmond.
Yeah, and we have waited out Mother Nature. There is still rain around us, but right now there is no rain falling, and the track has been, I guess we'll say it this way, the standing water has been removed. The track is certainly damp, but that's why they have the wet weather tires, and the engines have fired. They'll be taking to the racetrack momentarily. Here are the numbers that you need to know. We already mentioned 400 laps in total. That's 300 miles. Stage 1 done at lap 70. Stage 2 at lap 230. Then 170 additional laps will take us all the way to the checkered flag. 3/4 mile, Richmond Raceway. You heard from Mike Bagley earlier today. He hosts NASCAR Live Race Day. He has climbed to the top of his perch just outside of turn number 3. Let's welcome him back from Milford, Delaware. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Bagley.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to be with you again. NASCAR Live Race Day in the books. High atop turn 3. Ready to call some unknown racing at Richmond. We know what it's like when it's dry. 14 degrees of banking in the corners. Drivers will start on the bottom, wait for the track to widen out, and then let the conservation of tires begin. We've never raced at Richmond in a damp or a wet condition. Now, as we are describing this racetrack, the rain is starting to fall again. It's going to be one of them nights, as they say in these parts, that it's going to be hit and miss, or as the King said a long time ago, it's raining just enough to make it aggravating. And right now, it is starting to pick up out here in turn 3. Whenever we go, whether it be in the wet and the dry, we'll cover all the action. High atop turn 3 for you tonight here at the Richmond Raceway.
Can't wait for that to take place. The cars have come to life. They're sitting down on the pit lane. So why don't we bring you back to Steve Post and Jason Toy, our pit reporters, for some more inside information on what to expect and some stories to play out throughout tonight's Toyota Owners 400. We start at the exit of the pit lane, and the Motor Racing Network lead pit reporter from Halstead, Pennsylvania, Steve Post.
Cars rolling off from pit road, so we are getting ready to go. You know, so much happens here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So much good short track racing. And last night up at Dominion Speedway, north of here in Thornburg, Virginia, it was a special race at the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series track. It was their season opener, but it was also a nod to one of the legends of racing in this area, the Dickie Boswell Memorial. Dickie was a longtime racer at Old Dominion Speedway, huge supporter of local racing for years, race teams, own teams, passed away in 2021. Last night was a tribute to Dickie Boswell. His son Richard is the crew chief for Chase Briscoe, and he is calling the shots here at Richmond tonight. Richard was part of that big event last night up there. In fact, his driver, Chase Briscoe, went up there and signed autographs. It was a big, big night, a big crowd up there, and tip of the cap to Doug Barnes, who picked up the win, second consecutive win in the Dickie Boswell Memorial, taking place up at Dominion Speedway. His son Richard calling the shots here on pit road for driver Chase Briscoe. Jason?
Well, Postman, let's talk a little bit about what the crews are going to have to contend with here this evening, at least the early part of this race here at Richmond. Pit road entrance is in the middle of turns 3 and 4. The exit off there by Steve Post in the middle of turns 1 and 2. 40 miles per hour, and if we have to go green flag pit stops, you got to bog it down pretty quick to get down on the pit lane. This is the pit lane that we see. It's pretty wide, but we always see contact because the quarters where these cars stop are a little bit tight trying to get out of. So that will be one of the factors here too. And we talked about with Christopher Bell as he strapped into his race car, one of his crewmen was drying the feet off, didn't want to have any moisture on the feet when he was trying to work the pedals. Well, for the crew guys down here, they're trying to make sure these pit boxes are getting dried out as much as they can so they don't slip when they go around to make tire changes here and the refuel with that Sunoco fuel. So they've been using the squeegee rollers to kind of put pressure on it to get some of that water off. Also got the leaf blowers out here. They got fans and other things too. We're also watching them use a little bit of blowtorch right now to try to dry an area so they can put the tape down so they have a place to stop the race car, make it that point for the driver where they know where they need to stop the cars when they come in. When we look at the pit stalls here, they've got the regular race tires that are all stacked up here and ready to go. They are covered up in tarps. Most of the teams down here, matter of fact, all the teams have got another set of wet weather Goodyear Racing Eagles here too. So they're prepared, they're ready to roll. The crew going to make sure that they are dried off.
Only 9 sets of tires
get the action
for these
here
guys
on the pit lane here at Richmond.
36 cars on the race team. 36 race teams are ready to go. Coming up, it's the Toyota Owners 400.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules.
Stage 1, 70 laps. Stage 2 will end at 2:30. That's 160 laps. And 170 laps to the finish.
Sun is setting out behind
Fuel
turn
window.
number 4. The lights are on here. The cars are on the racetrack, hoping to go under the green flag
40 miles an hour.
just a matter of a few moments. From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hey racing fans, William Byron here, driver of the number 24 Liberty University Chevy. I'm excited to tell you that Liberty is giving away $74,000 in scholarships. Winners can choose from over 600 online programs of study and join me as a Liberty student. Get your future on track today. Learn more about Liberty University's $74,000 scholarship giveaway at liberty.edu/24. That's liberty.edu/24.
Give us a follow. The Motor Racing Network is on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. We've got links to all our podcasts, MRN Radio race broadcasts, and NASCAR news and information. Video podcasts on MRN's YouTube and Facebook. On X, use the hashtag AskMRN to connect with us and our award-winning race announcers. Give us a like, post a comment, share a podcast. Just search for MRN Radio, the Motor Racing Network, on all your favorite social media outlets.
Welcome back to Richmond, Virginia, Richmond Raceway, the Toyota Owners 400, live on the Motor Racing Network. Glad to have you with us on this Sunday night. Lights are on, as I mentioned earlier. The track is damp, the cars are on it, and the cars are also on wet weather tires to put this race under the green flag. Let's explain once again what NASCAR plans to do, and obviously that's a moving target.
It really is. So right now the plan here for this one is extended pace laps. We have not taken a green flag yet. There's still the pace and parade laps ongoing while they send part of the Toyota Tundra track drying team down the pit lane to try to get that excess water blown off of that. Remember, they haven't been able to put any trucks on there at all because the cars have been gridded there. All the dignitaries, all the race fans with their pre-race passes been up and down the pit lane. So right now we have to get that blown away and get all that excess standing moisture off of the pit lane. Then we do expect to get the one to go and go under the green flag. Wet weather tires on the race cars. There is a difference in, if you're listening on scanners here at Richmond Raceway or whatever the case may be, maybe you're going to think about this. We're going to go ahead and paint the picture for you, is the fact that wet weather tires have white painted Goodyear Racing Eagles around the outside of it. And the dry tires, the regular racing slicks, the Goodyear lettering is all painted yellow. So right now the white lettered Goodyear wet weather tires are on. We will not race if there's heavy spray coming off of the back of these cars. Think about driving down the freeway in the rain. If there's a lot of spray coming up off of the vehicle in front of you, it makes it a little difficult. Turn your windshield wipers on. Obviously you already have your headlights on. Don't have that here. No wiper on the cars here. We do not want to race in the spray, because this is not a road course. We would do that in a road course, but not on an oval with the type of speeds and a safer barrier to driver's right all the way around.
So the bottom line is, just because you have the wet weather tires on the race car does not mean that we would race in the rain. It is not raining on the front stretch. We can tell because there are puddles to the inside of the racetrack, well off the racing surface. It is not raining here, but is it raining around the racetrack? Let's find out. Mike Bagley, you're outside of turn number 3. What is the weather at the moment?
Well, it's a heavy sprinkle, Jeff, and it gives way from stopping to a moderate rain to a heavy sprinkle, which is what it's doing now. It's coming and going in like 5-minute bursts, so it's not like it sets in for a while and then stops for a while. It is very consistently intermittent, if you can even call it that. So that's what we're chasing tonight. Field has been doing laps around the racetrack. They've been checking the lanes down low, checking them up high. Right now they're coming down pit lane to check their tacks. But as of right now, a light mist or heavy drizzle falling right now over here in turn 3.
Either way, we've got race cars on the track. Pace car continues to circle out on the speedway as they do indeed come down the pit lane. So Rusty Wallace, it's Easter Sunday. This will be the 14th NASCAR Cup Series race to take place on Easter Sunday. First time it happened back in 1953 at Charlotte Speedway. The winner, Dick Passwater. That's right. And Rusty Wallace in 1989 right here at Richmond Raceway picked up a win on Easter Sunday. But it's different. There's moisture out there. There's dampness on the racetrack. What would you be thinking as a race car driver? We heard Steve Post just say that Cliff Daniels told Kyle Larson, expect the groove to be all the way up against the wall.
Well, I'm not for sure that's going to happen. I don't know if it will or not, although I will tell you this is pretty historical what's going on right now. This is one of the first times, if the first time I've ever seen rain tires on cars here at Richmond Racetrack. Now, we did see it last year in the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. And I'll tell you what, if you guys remember that race, it was pretty doggone good. On the rain tires, those cars actually ran faster than they did on slicks. That's because the tire is much softer than a regular slick. But I expect to see this thing look really, really good early on. We might see some spins, guys trying to get used to this wet weather, who knows? But it'll probably dry the track pretty fast. I've been watching the radar, guys. I don't see a whole lot of rain behind us. I think this thing's going to dry up pretty quick. But I do expect this race to go better than maybe anticipated on wet weather tires.
You know, we can't predict the weather or what the radar might look like in 15 minutes, but we can tell you in the last 15 minutes, a major cell that was bearing down on us has skirted us and is heading south, and hopefully that will continue to be the case.
That's the vortex
and we are
theory.
hearing in our ear from NASCAR, one more lap, and we will go under the green flag.
One to go this
real
time.
Quickly down to Steve Post. Let's remind everybody the sets of Goodyear Racing Eagles these teams have at their disposal.
They have 4 of the weather set of Racing Eagles. That right now is up at the front of the pit box. They have 9 sets of the slicks, 8 new ones, and the qualifier set that they had from yesterday
Total
afternoon
13.
in qualifying, and we'll see how and when and where they use all of these tires here tonight.
So the field is working around the racetrack right now. Lights out on the pace car. They're going to continue to go, weaving the cars back and forth. The fans that are here on an Easter Sunday evening that have braved the elements from earlier this afternoon, well, they're here, Jeff. They're standing up. They're ready to go. We're ready to start a race.
And how about applauding NASCAR for doing this? Like Rusty said, historical. We're getting ready to race. The track is damp. The fans are here. They're ready to go. We know these drivers are ready to go for 400 laps, 300 miles. Again, this is race number 7 of the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series schedule. And to kick it all off here under the lights at Richmond from Goldsboro, North Carolina, here is the Motor Racing Network's Alex Hayden.
2 by 2 as the pace car hits the pit lane. Eyes on Joey Aycock on top of the flag stand. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing the Toyota Owners 400. From the inside lane, pole sitter Kyle Larson gets away with a race lead.
Kyle Larson will grab the point coming into
Green
the corner,
flag,
and
we're
that'll
racing.
leave Ross Chastain an opportunity to take his place on the bottom of the racetrack. He won't find it, oh, he kicks wide. Elliott goes to second, 3 wide for third. Moderate spray from the cars for the first time in 3.
Ross Chastain all the way to the inside as they come off of turn number 3. 3 wide. Also a battle for the lead.
3
Chase
wide.
Elliott will take
That
it away
might
from
not work
Kyle
for
Larson.
long.
Right behind Kyle, they continue to go 2 and 3 wide.
And the leaders are already heading their way up the backstretch.
To the lead,
And make that
Chase
upper
Elliott.
banking to the backstretch with Chase Elliott at the controls. Kyle Larson to second. Alex Bowman looks to the inside of Todd Gilliland for third.
It's a great race coming up off of turn number 4. Bowman has the position by a fender. Todd Gilliland will rally back topside. This is the ongoing fight for the number 3 spot.
And it's a private battle. Ford and Chevy coming into the corner. You got the Chevy of Alex Bowman to the inside of the Ford of Todd
Place
Gilliland.
half a
They
second,
continue to race
like that,
there
8
behind
tenths
them.
behind
Ross
Chase
Chastain,
Elliott.
Bubba Wallace now going at it for 4th.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I don't know about you, but this race to me right now looks awful good. They're on the bottom of the track. They're 4 wide on the top of the track coming off of turn 4. Looks like they got a lot of grip out there. Nothing like I might anticipated, a bunch of slipping and sliding. Everything's looking good right now.
They look like they know what they're doing out there. These are the best stock car drivers
place
in the
changing
world, and they're
hands.
putting on a show right now on a damp racetrack. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, they go 1-2. Todd Gilliland holding down 3rd. Alex Bowman goes 4th, and they're side by side for 5th. And 3 wide right behind will pick up the battle for 5th. It's Bubba Wallace on the inside.
And on the outside is Ross Chastain. Behind
Bubba
them,
Wallace,
that 3
Ross
wide
Chastain
moves.
going for
That
5th.
started with Martin Truex Jr.
Now taking
punching
place
a
about
hold of the
1.4
inside
seconds
of
back
Tyler
of
Reddick
leader
car.
Chase Elliott.
Also, Joey Logano. Make that Ty Gibbs in the mix with Logano and Truex.
They are, as Truex to the inside of Logano gets a good bite. Every lane is being used here throughout the field at Richmond Raceway. That ongoing fight from 4th on back continues to be great.
Here's Ross Chastain. He'll take it all the way to the wall, trying to get the better advantage and the better bite up front. Here's Larson from the top of 2 to the outside of Elliott for the lead in 3.
Teammates going at it in a pair of Chevrolet Camaros give the advantage to Kyle Larson. He will lead lap number 6. Elliott back to 2nd.
And
Gilliland
lead
continues
change.
to hold down 3rd. Bowman fourth, and Mike, that battle for fifth just will not go away.
And that battle for fifth is between Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain. Bubba on the bottom, Chastain up top. Chastain comes flying around the outside. He'll grab fifth.
Guys, what I'm seeing right now, there is no preferred groove out there whatsoever. They're running on the bottom, the middle, and the top, like I mentioned a little while ago. Some of these good road course guys always try to run out of the groove when the track is really wet, trying to get more attraction.
Speaking of out of the groove, congratulations to the host of that show, Eric
when they get
Stepp.
out of that water. There's not a lot of water out there at all right now on this track. It's just damp a little bit, but it's made it so there is no preferred line. I mean, I see him on the top, in the middle, in the bottom.
7 laps complete.
Actually,
it's Larson,
every
Elliott,
single
Bowman,
groove is occupied
Gillen,
right now. They're not
Chastain,
on
your
the
top
bottom or
5.
the top. They're all over
And
the
it's
place.
Wallace, Logano, Truex Jr., Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney.
There's still a knot
top
off
10.
turn 2.
Yeah, Kyle Larson goes 3 lanes from the bottom to keep the lead. Elliott to second, Bowman to third. From fourth on back, they're stacked up. Todd Gilliland at the point of that battle.
And don't think you can't pass right now. Justin Haley up 10, Chase Briscoe up 9, Suarez and Josh Berry up 8 as they climb the leaderboard. Obviously, others are falling down the leaderboard,
including Kyle Busch, who's lost 13 positions. He's been searching for grip. Right now, he's running all the way up against the outside wall in turn 2. Carson Hocevar's lost double-digit positions as well. He's given up 10 positions here in the opening 10 laps of this race. Jeff, that's been highly entertaining.
Now, what a show early on here at Richmond. Larson, Elliott, and Bowman 3. Hendrick, Chevrolet's at the front of the field.
And they're side by side for second because Alex Bowman has entered the mix. He'll draw to the inside of Chase Elliott off turn number 2. Private battle for second between Bowman and Elliott. Here's Bubba and Gilliland now for fourth.
And it is Hendrick Motorsports now 1, 2, 3 at the Richmond Raceway, led by Larson. As Mike mentioned, Bowman has second, but Chase Elliott not ready to give it up just yet.
Crossover move for Chase coming down the front straightaway. He'll pull to the inside now. Bowman took a wider line in the middle of the corner. That'll allow him to hang on to the spot. So Bowman's in second. You've got Elliott in third, but Gilliland and Bubba now join this battle. A solid battle off the corner.
Well, here comes Bubba on the bottom of the racetrack. He will pull even with Todd Gilliland and lead him across the line. This is the battle for fourth. Bubba Wallace on the inside.
Bubba Wallace on the move in the early going here tonight at Richmond. He'll move to the inside. He'll ease up alongside Todd Gilliland. Side-by-side battle for fourth. Bubba has the advantage, but Gilliland will sail it in on the outside.
Credit Todd Gilliland after a great
Major
practice,
credit
a great
to Todd
qualifying
Gilliland
effort.
here.
He's putting together a great opening part of this race. He is really getting after it as he dives to the bottom of turn number 1 on Wallace.
Todd Gilliland trying to make the move while race leader Kyle Larson takes it all the way to the wall, trying to find the wettest spot of racetrack he can. It's up against that wall. He uses it in 2, and he'll use the middle country in this time through 3 and 4.
Well, guys, one thing I'm noticing right now, I'm watching the lap times. They're getting faster and faster. And when I see that, that's telling me the track is drying out. It's getting more aggressive out there. I mean, the track's not as near as much moisture in it as it was when we started this race. And the lap times keep getting faster, like I said, every lap. Almost a tenth of a second as we keep going.
Aren't they supposed to be slowing down, Alex Hayden? Lap after lap, you would normally think that those Goodyear tires begin to fade, but these are wet weather tires they're running on right now, and they are performing flawlessly.
They absolutely are, and normally you look at the front of the field. Kyle Larson has a 5-car length lead. You would think, man, that's the fastest guy on the racetrack.
Not necessarily.
That is not the case. The fastest car on the track the last 4 or 5 laps has been back around 16th, 17th, and 18th. The fastest car on the track last lap, the 18th place car, Noah Gragson.
Let's give you a quick look at the top 10 here on lap 16. It is teammates at the front of the field, and Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, and Chase Elliott. They go 1, 2, 3. Martin Truex Jr. running 5th. Todd Gilliland is 6th. I missed Bubba Wallace. Bubba's running 4th. Then Truex, then Todd Gilliland. Ross Chastain running 7th. Joey Logano 8th. Ryan Blaney 9th. And Ty Gibbs completes the top 10.
You may have missed Bubba Wallace because now he's up to the number 3 spot. He's climbing the leaderboard with 17
average speed right now, 109 miles an hour.
I'm what
17
you might call
complete.
Very good at hide and seek. And since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my super secret hiding spots. So I can kill time in here by streaming my favorite.
Ha! Found you.
How?
You left Find My tablet on. Get wall-to-wall
Really?
Wi-Fi on the Xfinity
How
10G
dumb
network.
could you possibly
Restrictions apply. Not
be?
available in all areas. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Dickett Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
Richmond Raceway is where we are. Kyle Larson still where he was when we last spoke. He's out front. He's got a 7/10 of a second lead over his teammate Alex Bowman. Bubba Wallace is third. Chase Elliott is fourth. Martin Truex Jr. is fifth. 50 laps to go in stage number 1 from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Calling all nonprofit
Again, this
organizations.
stage
The
will
NASCAR
end
Day
at
Giveathon
lap
is back
70.
for 2024. What's that, you ask? It's a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their local missions. By signing up for the Giveathon, you gain access to a national marketing campaign to build visibility and donations for your nonprofit at no cost to you. And as a bonus, special incentives and prizes will be announced along the way to help you maximize your efforts. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon.
Elliott
Colorful
dropping
career,
back to
93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series
Truex Jr. gets
championships,
by.
and 3 Daytona 500 wins.
Finding
A
himself
career
under
rivaled
siege.
by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff
From
Gordon,
sixth place,
A
Todd
Colorful
Gilliland.
Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Welcome back to Richmond Raceway, continuing to work under the green flag. Kyle Larson, still the race leader. He's now put up 19 laps led. Chase Elliott led 5, but Mike Bagley, there is a driver that is on the move.
Yes, indeedy. Coming out of turn number 2, they race their way off the end of the back straightaway. We're following along with Alex Bowman. We're following along Martin Truex Jr. Lots of drivers showing muscle here in the early going.
Including Bubba Wallace, who has come all the way up to second. He is 5 car lengths behind the race leader, Kyle Larson, and is 25 back to Alex Bowman. We got a long way to go in this one, Alex Hayden. We are 45 laps shy of just the end of stage number 1. 375 laps remain in tonight's event.
It does, and things we talk about, Rusty Wallace, when we race in the damp conditions. You mentioned earlier, these wet weather Goodyear tires thrive when the track is wet. As we look over here up off of turn number 4, we're starting to see the heat coming out of the header pipes on these cars, drying out the racetrack just a bit. What do the drivers need to do?
Right now, the drivers know that they're getting more grip as they go on and on because the track is actually drying out quite a bit. We're seeing it, especially off of turn 4 from up here in our MRN booth. We can see the track getting lighter. The thing that they need to be concerned about now is wearing these tires too hard, because you got to remember, rain tires are much softer than a regular slick tire. So if you abuse them, you can wear them out fast. Right now, the tires look like they're hanging in there okay, but I have noticed the fast cars that went to the bottom of the track now, they're running the conventional fast line.
NASCAR listening to you, Rusty Wallace, because they have called for a competition
Top
caution
yellow
to fly in a lap and a half. Lap 30.
Coming at
lap
30.
Soon to be lap 29. A comp caution coming up in just 1 lap. Kyle Larson showing the way
Top
over
yellow
Bubba.
in the next
Bubba's
lap.
got 30 back to Alex Bowman. That's where it's hot and heavy. Mike Bagley, you got Alex Bowman there. You got Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott, Todd Gilliland and Joe Illigano. It's the battle for third, and it's working its way to turn number 2.
I have the command in chat right now.
Fords racing in this battle with Alex Bowman at the head of it.
Lap 30.
Side by side behind him. You got Chase Elliott on the outside. You got Ross Chastain down low, and that Gilliland-Logano battle flaring up behind them.
It is. So this is all, again, from the number 3 spot on back. It is a couple of Hendrick Motorsports Camaros right there as the competition caution now flies on lap number 30. So the competition caution is going to slow this field down. An impressive 30-lap green flag stretch in the damp to get the Toyota Owners 400 underway.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying
Exclamation point, caution.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
She is the track too tough to take.
The lady in black. She's got a thing for tradition, a hankering for history, and she sure likes a good challenge. Well, when Throwback Weekend comes to town, she'll get exactly what she wants and play extra hard to get.
These guys are gonna have their hands full.
Shall we dance? The official Throwback Weekend of NASCAR, May 10th through the 12th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Pit road is closed as we work the first caution of the evening. This is a competition caution put on by NASCAR. From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts. 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Welcome to Martinsville.
Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, April 5th through the 7th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
We welcome you back to Richmond Raceways. We work under the caution flag. Damp conditions to start the race with the Goodyear Eagle wet weather tires. Track beginning to dry out as you would expect with 38 NASCAR Cup Series cars putting all that heat down out of the header pipes as well as the tires that they were circling around this racetrack on. So NASCAR puts out the competition caution. They're going to continue to circle. They are not going to bring them down to pit lane just yet. And Steve Post, it's going to be a bit of a twist when they come to pit lane.
Yes, it is. This is a non-competitive pit stop. The reason being is that all the pit boxes are not dry, and we don't want these athletes that are pitting these cars to slip, fall, a car to spin, a car to slip, and get into some people down here. So consequently, this is a non-competitive pit stop. So the way you came in is the way you will go out. The cars will come in. As a matter of fact, they're sending the track giant crew down the front stretch now. So they're going to take a pass here on pit road to help try this race.
This will be a non-competitive stop. The way you come in is the way you'll come out.
When all the cars are stopped in the pit box, NASCAR will indicate that the crew members can then start to service the car, and they will put on the racing slick. The Goodyear Racing Eagle slick tires will be put on the car. So it's going to be a few moments because they are making a pass with the jet dryers down the front straightaway, and we will get this pit road as dry as possible, but they do not want to put any crew members in risk with any wet spots here on the racetrack. So it will be a non-competitive pit stop here once pit road is finally open.
So lap 35 goes on the board as we work just a basic normal caution at the moment. Rusty, how impressed are you with what we saw here in these opening 30 green flag laps?
Well, Alex, so far I'm real impressed. I mean, I saw what I saw last year at North Wilkesboro when they put those rain tires on, and we were all surprised how good the cars ran, how fast they were. I saw exactly the same thing just now. 30 laps are pretty fast speeds out there. Everybody looked in control. I agree they probably do need this 30-lap stop right now. You got some great drivers out there. like Kyle Larson, who's up front, says, hey, this racetrack now is ready for slicks. Whether they're going to do that yet, I don't know. But the windshields are pretty covered over right now. They're pretty dirty out there. It kind of look to me like you're at the end of a Coca-Cola 600 where your windshield's been pretty doggone dirty. So it's time to get those babies cleaned up and get everything back to normal. But I tell you what, we did some great racing out there right now. I know that's what the fans wanted. I know it's what I wanted, and we all learned a lot so far.
Yes, we did, as the jet dryers continue to work down the pit lane in the opposite direction to blow the jet fumes and that hot air away from the crews and the fans that line the backside of the pit wall. As great as the drivers are, and they are, because they just ran 30 laps in the damp, we really need to say congratulations and thank you to Goodyear for the tire that they brought. Nobody knew really what to expect. We heard the drivers say that. We have no idea when the green flag flies what to expect, but how about a huge tip of the cap to Stu Grant, Greg Stucker, and the entire team at Goodyear for what they brought.
Well said. They deserve a good pat on the back. No doubt about that. My entire career racing on Goodyear tires, they've had my back my whole entire career, and right now, these guys have built just one whale of a rain tire that worked perfect right here on this super fast 3/4 mile oval track. And it worked great so far. And so now we'll keep on going and we'll see what happens. But yeah, kudos to Goodyear for a wonderful tire they've designed and brought here to Richmond. And I tell you what, I don't care what happens. Mission accomplished. It looks fantastic out there right now.
Boy, it sure does, Rusty. So drying will continue here on pit road. Once they feel like it is suitable to bring the cars down pit road, they will do exactly that. Kyle Larson has led, as Alex pointed out, 32 laps of the 37. Bubba Wallace has climbed the leaderboard nicely. He is up to second, and Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and Ross Chastain. That is your top five. Todd Gilliland with a good run early here tonight. He's sixth. Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., last year's winner, Chris Buescher. Shouldn't say last year's winner, I guess, Alex. It was the last time we were here. Chris Buescher going to victory lane, and tonight it is his career start, number 300.
It is a milestone start for Chris Buescher. Last time somebody won on their 300th start is the guy that owns his race team. A guy named Brad Keselowski was the last person to win on start number 300. There's another guy here on property that won on his 300th career start in the Cup Series 2, and he's standing to our left.
And he went on to become a member of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Do you remember that day, Rusty Wallace?
I remember it pretty good. You always remember those days when you get to beat Earnhardt, you know, so I got to do that.
Oh, Rusty.
And that car felt really good, man. I'll tell you, that Kodiak Pontiac, the number 27 car, everybody remembers that car, I think. And that was a real hot rod.
It was a bit before my time there, Rusty.
It was so fast. And that year, man, 1993, it went on to win 10 races that
year.
A third
a bit before my time.
Wins. I was
a year before I came in.
That was a good time, wasn't it?
That was a great time. I'm telling you what, there was a lot of Miller being drank back then, I'll tell you that.
That was a car that was owned by Raymond Beadle at the time, was it not?
That's
that
right.
was before you moved on to Team Penske.
Raymond Beadle, world-class champion drag racer out of Dallas, Texas, decided to start a NASCAR team. I drove the team. The late Tim Richmond drove for him, and he was just one great winner. We lost Raymond 3 or 4 years ago, but he sure started my career, helped it get to where it was. And, man, what a great person. But, yeah, that was that hot rod Pontiac, that number 27.
Looks like the jet dryers are just about to wrap up their pass down the pit lane, as we wish everybody a very happy Easter and hope it's been a safe one and will continue to be a safe one. And racing here on Easter, this is the 14th time the NASCAR Cup Series has raced on Easter Sunday. I mentioned earlier, Dick Passwater won the first Easter race on April 5th, 1953. Herb Thomas has won on Easter Sunday. Junior Johnson, Joe Weatherly, Cotton Owens, Richard Petty, not once but twice. Junior Johnson won at North Wilkesboro for a second time on Easter. Bobby Isaac, Bobby Allison, Rusty Wallace did it. Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell.
And who did you say won that first one? And what year was it?
Dick Passwater at Charlotte Speedway, April 5th, 1953.
Little known fact, Rusty Wallace finished second on that day.
1953.
Come on.
Really? How old do you think he is?
You're like, hey, wait a minute, I did? All right, as we watch the field circulate around, as Alex pointed out a moment ago, pit road has been cleared. The red light's still on. They may flip it green here shortly, and if they do,
pit road's gonna be
then we'll
open.
bring them all down pit road. Again, this is a competition caution. As we dried pit road, we'll get ready. Green light is on, so Jason, Steve, get ready. They'll be coming
Here
down.
they come.
Can't gain any spots, can't lose any spots as long as you get on and off pit road in the allotted amount of time. Here comes Kyle, and he'll bring the entire field with him. Let's begin our coverage with Jason Toy.
Well, they bring their way down the pit lane. First pit stall is going to be Tyler Reddick just off of turn number 4. As they make their way
These
to
are
the
all
pit
going to be
box,
4-tire
come to a
stops.
complete stop. Once they all do, they'll get a chance to go. Now they'll go with Martin Truex Jr. They're going to go to work on the right side. They're going to put on the Goodyear Racing Eagle yellow stripe ones, which that means they are the slick, normal ones we run here at Richmond. Chassis wrench right side, put some more into it. Sunoco fuel going in. Also, Ryan Blaney is in. And Steve Post, one of the things that was kind of big during this pit stop or during this caution,
They're
was
classifying it as a red flag right now.
they're going to try to run on the racetrack. So they got a good opportunity to discuss a lot of things.
Fox is not
There was a
showing
good
the
chance, a lot of
time.
conversation here in the pit area, listening to drivers. Kyle Larson, he has the very first pit box down here in turn 1. He's down and away. Bubba Wallace down and away as well. And they'll get regathered up behind the pace car there on the backstretch. But right now, I think the teams have done what we've seen is minor chassis adjustments because they don't really have a sense as to what's going to happen with the tires now that they put the slicks on. The good news on this one is a rather short run now to the end of stage number 1, lap number 75. So this will give them a good chance to see what their cars are doing here on the slick. So a shorter
It'll
run
be
here
about
as we make it to the end of the first stage is going to give them a chance. And
I'll
then
say
at
25,
that point, they'll start working on the
30
race
lap
cars.
run to
I
the end of
mentioned
the
lap
stage.
75. It's actually lap number 70 is the end of stage number 1.
Those pit stops were brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This season, Toyota Racing is looking for jugglers.
Aha!
Not the ones who toss balls or rings. Fans that can juggle the rigors of a 10-month-long season across many different racing circuits.
Well, what if I added nice?
What if you added GR Cup, Formula Drift, and off-road racing? If you can juggle it all, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. Formula Drift is a registered trademark of Formula Drifts Holdings, LLC.
This is Steve Post. If you love sprint cars, you'll love Wing Nation. All the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. Join Ashley Strumming, Aaron Evernham, and me every Tuesday on Motor Racing Networks and Wing Nation's Facebook pages. We go live with the weekend's winners and newsmakers from around the country. You can also find the podcast of all past shows on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast providers. Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You crave power, you bleed speed, you live for the roar of the crowd and the taste of victory. But your ride is holding you back. Ignite your engine's soul with E3 spark plugs. The same spark that fuels NASCAR champions unleashes explosive power in your ride. Don't just dream of speed, make it your reality. Find E3 at your nearest auto parts store. E3 spark plugs. E3, what are you running?
Keep up with all of the action during the 2024 NASCAR season with NASCAR Today.
William Byron has won the Daytona 500.
Every weekday throughout the season, we'll bring you the latest news and insights.
At that point, I really had in my mind, okay, we can really win this.
As we count down the days to championship weekend in Phoenix.
It's surreal still. I can't believe I'm in this position.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
Going to get the signal from Joey Aycock on top of the flag stand next time by. 1 lap to go. Before we go back under the green flag, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Richmond Raceway, the NASCAR Cup Series racing, the Toyota Owners 400. My name is Alex Hayden. Jeff Striegel and NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace all topside, high above the start-finish line. High above turn number 3, calling the action over on the backside of Richmond Raceway is Mike Bagley. And up and down the pit lane are Steve Post and Jason Toy.
And if you are just joining us, we are 43 laps into this. The first 40 laps were run in damp condition with wet weather tires. We thought we were going back under the green flag. They have since waved that off, or at least for one more lap. That gives us an opportunity to tell you what you missed, and it was pretty spectacular. On wet weather tires, we saw them racing under the green flag, 2, 3, and 4 wide, putting on a great show. Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, and Ross Chastain. That is your top 5. Going to keep them under the caution here for another lap or 2.
So we're going to go back.
So I gave you the top 5.
Lap
Todd
45.
Gilliland, then Martin Truex Jr., Joe
Joey
Logano, Daniel Suarez, and Chris Buescher. That is your top 10. We are 26 laps away from the end of stage number 1.
Hoping to get the one to go next time by the field. Again, they were not going to lose a spot on the controlled pit stop, so they're just making sure everybody is in the correct running order to come back in after they just made their choice of which lane to restart in.
They also look like they picked up the pace speed dramatically, and that may have something to do with the fact that they switched over from the damp weather tires to the racing slicks. Understand they're going to run a couple of extra laps just to make sure the drivers are happy with the slick racing tire on these in these conditions.
So Rusty, you were raced 30 laps hard under damp conditions, could run all over the racetrack. Now you got slick tires on. There's no tread on these babies at all. We can still visually tell the track still has some moisture in it. Parts of it is drying completely. How dangerous is this going to be for some of these drivers, and how much bravery are they going to need?
Well, I don't think it's dangerous at all. I think there's probably some concern because as a driver, you look out there, you don't see the track all one color. You're seeing some dry spots, you're seeing some wet spots, or maybe let's just call it discolored.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, for me, guys, this was always the part that I was never comfortable with on slick tires.
Hang on. Let me see if we can get the broadcast back for you guys.
Somewhat still looks wet from a second groove up. And if you look right there on the inside groove, it's the light gray where it's dry. That outside, like you said, not so hot. I think I was still on the bottom here. Well, I would agree with you on that. And really down the front straightaway, it's only dry up next to the wall, and on back straightaway up next to the wall. Really, everything else still looks wet to me. But that was never the case. But once the slick tires got the heat in them, it always seemed like it gripped okay, even if it looked like it was still somewhat darker. We're back. Yeah, we saw these adjustments, and a lot of them had to do with wedge adjustments. Paul Wolf talked to Jamie Little about adjustments. But with that zero stagger, with the left and right side tires being the same size, the car didn't want to turn. So they know now they've got an inch and an eighth difference. The cars don't want to turn on its own. Everybody else saw it, including Paul Wolf. They put
Keeping us under the caution flag. I think we're good to go here.
The field is coming to the Geico Restart Zone, presented by Geico. Is your insurance playbook confusing? We'll make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com today to get started.
Be ready.
Toyota Camry is at the front of the field. It has a light bar on it. The light bar is out, and the Camry is on pit road. We're ready to go. Back
Exclamation point restart.
Come out on lap 48. 22 laps remain in stage number 1. Green flag is out side by side. Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace on the slick Goodyear Racing Eagles take the field to turn 2.
And all the cars are glued to the racetrack. Nobody slipping a tire. Everybody racing hard like Bubba Wallace, who'll charge to the outside of Larson. Very aggressive, and Larson's going to jam it back in down low.
These two drivers have had a history among themselves, side by side for the lead. That is going to end. Bubba Wallace by a nose is going to take the lead.
But here comes Larson.
Larson is not going to let him get away with the lead that easy, but Bubba's there. Here he
Wallace
is
to
for
the
the
lead
top
for
of
now.
turn 2.
Here comes
He'll
Larson
drop the
again.
Half a car length out in front, but Larson's still there to his inside.
Boy, what a race we have. Bubba Wallace will not give it up on the outside. Side by side at the line. Bubba Wallace on the outside. Kyle Larson on the inside.
They've got a 2 car length breakaway over Alex Bowman, who rides in position number 3. Larson leaning on Bubba, coming out of turn number 2. Bowman's got the best seat in the house for this one,
Bowman
with
in the
Wallace a
catbird
fender
seat
out
right
in front
here.
back to 3.
Neither driver is going to give it up right now. The
Neither one
egos are on
conceding
full
an
display.
inch.
This lap is going to be led by Kyle Larson by a bumper. They race back to turn number 1.
Neither driver giving an inch right now. Bubba Wallace on the outside, Kyle Larson on the outside. Now Wallace will swing wide. Larson angles a bit lower. They'll separate themselves, but they're still now back at it in 3.
Man against man, machine against machine. A Chevy on the inside, Toyota on the outside. Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, lap after lap, side by side.
Who does the
wheel to
48
wheel.
help?
A great race for the lead here. Lap 52 at Richmond. Wallace fender out in front. Larson's going to run with him down low. Here's Larson, gets the advantage halfway off the end of the back straightaway. Kyle Larson back to the lead.
And he did it on the bottom side of the racetrack in the Xfinity Series race yesterday. The outside lane
Larson
was
back
the
to the
dominant
front.
group, but Mike, Larson made it pay off on the bottom.
Wow, what intense racing for the lead, and Kyle Larson would not
Intense
let it go.
racing already.
It's going to pay off for him. He'll grab the lead. He'll pull away by a car length over Bubba Wallace, who now has 3 car lengths back to Alex Bowman behind him.
Larson, Wallace, Bowman,
Stage 1. It
Truex,
is Kyle
Gilliland,
Larson, Bubba
top
Wallace,
5. Then
Alex
it's
Bowman,
Elliott,
Martin
Logano,
Truex
Chastain,
Jr.,
Busher,
and
and
Todd
Suarez.
Gilliland. That is your top
That's your
5.
top 10.
Then it's Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Ross
to it.
Chastain, Chris Busher, Daniel Suarez. Mike, that's your top 10.
Here they come off turn number 2 and onto the back straightaway. For side-by-side battle further back is where Daniel Suarez trying to squeeze to the inside of Chris Busher.
Boy, it didn't take long, guys, but this racetrack is really drying out right now. It looks a ton different than it did 6 or 7 laps ago, so I think they're in pretty good shape right now. They'll tell you, there's nothing better than a real race car on a real racetrack to dry it out real fast.
And very quickly, Mike, it looks like everybody's migrating to the bottom of the racetrack, unlike what we saw in the damp.
Yeah, everybody is going to huddle up down to the bottom of the racetrack, and that is
Suarez
standard
plus 11.
operating procedure
He's
here at Richmond.
Started
Start
20th.
at the bottom, let the lane widen out under normal
Busher
conditions,
plus 4.
and obviously in drying conditions right now all at the same time.
And just got a couple of cars that right now are working the extreme outside lane. They work down the back straightaway, working to the outside of Ryan Preece. Right behind Ryan is his teammate Josh Berry. To their outside, one of those drivers, Denny Hamlin, the other one, Chris Busher. And Mike, that is a battle that picks
For those
up
of you asking
just
where the
at
race is
position
on
number 10.
TV-wise, in the U.S. it's on Fox.
Not
sure if I can help you if it's if you're in Canada.
And he can't make a move
Radio-wise,
to the inside.
it is on MRN,
will find
Motor
his
Racing
way through
Network.
under Busher. Hamlin will pull back down right behind the Berry car.
I'll tell you what, guys, these guys got running really hard out there right now. It looks like they're almost running qualifying laps, and you might ask why. Well, it's only 12 laps to go right now before stage 1 is over. Everybody wants to make it into the top 10 to get those bonus points, so there's some hard racing going on right now, or at least for 10 more laps.
Yeah, there is, including at the front of the field. Bubba Wallace dropped back by 7 to 10 car lengths. Now suddenly he's whittled it away down to just 2.
He is keeping pace with Kyle Larson. That Bubba Wallace is right now a car length apart. Tip of the cap to a driver that's about to break his way into the top 10. Started at the back tonight. Josh Berry is rolling right now in that Sonny D Ford Mustang. Right now he's trying to get around his teammate, Ryan Preece.
Yeah, they just followed each other all the way up and through the field. Ryan Preece and Josh Berry behind them side by side. Denny Hamlin and Chris Busher. But it's Josh Berry that's on the move yet again.
Josh Berry dives to the inside of Ryan Preece coming into turn number 1. He's going to grab the spot before he enters onto the back straightaway. And he'll pull away now by 3 car lengths over Preece.
Josh Berry has gained 19 positions since the drop of the green
Plus
flag.
19
We're getting
for
closer
Josh
to the end of the
Berry.
stage. We're down to just 9 laps to go in stage number 1.
Leaders exit turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Kyle Larson leads
started
Bubba
30th.
Wallace by 3
He's
car
now
lengths.
11th.
It's 6 back to Alex Bowman in 3rd. Another 3 back to Martin Truex Jr. in 4th.
Big movers since we put the slicks back on. Zane Smith up 7. John Hunter Nemechek up 7. Josh Berry, Mike Bagley, up 6. He just continues to climb the leaderboard.
Good showing in the early going tonight for Josh Berry after he's working his way through the field closer to the front. Here comes Joey Logano and company on the move. Matter of fact, Logano comes off the end of the back straightaway, having just passed Todd Gilliland.
Denny Hamlin also climbing the leaderboard as expected here at Richmond. He just made a pass around Chris Buescher. So give Hamlin now position number 12, and he'll settle in line right now. Oh, trouble turn number 1. One car goes up. Josh Berry got into the back corner of the Daniel Suarez car, and Suarez goes for a long smoking slide.
This is going to be a caution.
1 and 2. Looked like a drift racer trying to keep that car pointed in the right direction. Couldn't do it, but Josh Berry went to the inside of Suarez going into turn number 1.
Second
Slight
caution
contact, but Jeff,
of the
that's
night.
all it takes at that point of the racetrack.
To turn that race car around, you're exactly right. It was Josh Berry into the back of Daniel Suarez.
Lap 63.
Caution flag number 2, waving over the speedway. 64 laps are complete. 6 remain in the stage. Kyle Larson out front.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Not sure if we're going to go back under the green flag before we see the green and white checkered flag that will complete stage number 1. If it remains this way, well, Kyle Larson would pick up the stage 1 win, but let's not just take that for granted. We'll see what happens here. 66 laps complete, 4 to go in the stage, under caution at the moment from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
3 to go in the stage, under caution, as we welcome you back to Richmond Raceway, the Toyota Owners 400. You know, you think about this for a moment, Alex and Rusty. NASCAR, prior to the wet weather tires, we would be maybe about ready to go under the green flag after we had the track drying team out there and the jet blowers, Alex, and we're, you know, trying to button up the racetrack top to bottom. And, you know, with the advent of the wet weather tire, we now have logged 67 laps.
Yeah, we have. This has been something that we expected and hoped would work as well as it did. I'm not so sure anybody thought it was going to be as good as it was, those opening 30 laps in the damp with the wet weather tires, Rusty.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We talked about last year at North Wilkesboro on a small half-mile racetrack. Well, this track is much bigger. So would it work here also? And it has. So it's been looking really good. A lot of people have asked for a long time, why don't we start the races or run the races in the rain? And I would tell you, we just weren't ready back then. And we weren't ready probably 2 years ago. We're ready now. We proved last year we can do it. We proved now we can do it. But remember, the tire has got to be much, much softer to work. And when you have a soft tire, the tire won't run near as far as a regular slick tire. So multiple pit stops are going to happen. But hey, who cares? It's work right now. We're approaching the end of stage one, a couple more laps. So good job out of everybody so far.
Mike Bagley, weigh in. You had a chance to watch it at your feet. 68 laps, soon to be 69 complete. The wet weather tire did not disappoint.
Oh, no, it didn't. And it also
led to some exciting racing.
Because we were able to watch race cars racing on the racetrack with that wet weather tire instead of watching the Toyota Tundra track drying team. All of this to push the effort forward, get the laps in, and we weren't disappointed. Nobody slipped at all. If anything, everybody had elbows up. It was very entertaining to watch. They didn't crack the throttle because they were on those wet weather tires. If anything, it looked like they were hammered down even more. Those cars stuck. No one was slipping. No one was wrecking. No crashing or anything. That was a solid 30-lap run to start this race on in the damp.
So Jason Toy down on the pit lane, once they had the competition caution and the crews took those Goodyear wet weather tires off the race cars, what did you see?
Well, the biggest thing we saw was who had a good handling race car in that first segment, those first 30 laps. And with that in mind, who was not running too tight? Ryan Blaney, very tight. The right front had slick all the way across it. Matter of fact, you could see one groove from what was the weather tire. But you look at some of the other drivers like Martin Truex Jr., they looked like they could have gone a whole lot longer on those wet weather tires. So depending on what setup you had in there, if you were tight or pushing it hard, you wore out that right front. Everybody else had a good handling race car. Now the thing is, we're going to see how that car handles the longer this race goes and see if you got the handling correct.
Yeah, and from what we heard and monitoring radios up and down pit road, most everybody saying what a tire, and it proved that out. You're right, Jason. There were some that wore out those right fronts, but I think the large majority of the drivers very, very pleased with the way it all worked out. Stage one is done. It happens under the caution flag while we continue to dry pit road in order to get some live pit stops down there. They come across the line this way. Stage win number 3 on the season for Kyle Larson. He picks up the green and white checkered flag and the points that go with it. Bubba Wallace was second. Alex Bowman was third. Martin Truex Jr. was fourth, and Joey Logano has quietly climbed all the way up to
Larson,
fifth.
Wallace,
Todd Gilliland
Bowman,
was sixth.
Truex,
Chase Elliott was
Logano,
seventh.
Gilliland,
Ross
Chase
Chastain,
Elliott,
eighth. Josh Berry, ninth.
Brian
His
Preece,
teammate
all getting
Ryan
stage points.
Preece was 10th.
And that look at the top 10 and who scored points in this stage was presented by the Powerball. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR, wants to make you a millionaire in victory lane. Head to Powerball.com to find out how you can enter the NASCAR Powerball playoff. And Jeff, Rusty, I believe I could use a plate of that Powerball money.
You know, what was it? Getting close to $1 billion. I don't know if anybody has won.
It was over $1 billion.
But what would you do, Alex Hayden? Because Rusty's already got $1 billion, so we already know what he'd do with his money. What would you do, Alex, with $1 billion in your pocket?
I believe I'd buy a motorcycle from Southern Country Customs is what I'd do.
Now you're talking. That's what you do. Buy 10 of them to give the rest of the money away to charity. How's that?
Yeah, Rusty Wallace is his motorcycle company. That's what I would do with it.
All right. And the rest of the top, oh, by the way, we're getting an update, $975 million. So it's not worth playing yet. I mean, I got to wait for it to hit the actual $1 billion mark.
Mega Millions was
I don't know.
over
I
$1
could
billion
spend a couple
earlier.
of bucks right now.
I think I
It's
could
$975
we gave you the top
million
10. The
for
rest
Monday
of the
night.
top 20, we have the time. They are getting pit road just about buttoned up. But again, we're working lap 71 of the 400 tonight. 11th right now is Denny Hamlin. William Byron is 12th. Chris Buescher under the caution 13th. Ty Gibbs 14th, and Tyler Reddick is 15th. Noah Gragson 16th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 17th. Christopher Bell 18th. 19th is Brad Keselowski, and Justin Haley is 20th.
21st is Zane Smith. John Hunter Nemechek is 22nd. Austin Dillon 23rd. Kaz Grala is 24th. Ryan Blaney 25th. Kyle Busch 26th. Austin Cindric 27th. Chase Briscoe 28th. Harrison Burton 29th, and Carson Hocevar is 30th.
Eric Jones 31st. Michael McDowell 32nd. Daniel Hemrick 33rd. Ty Dillon 34th. 34th, 35th Corey
Okay,
LaJoie,
pit stops
Daniel
this time.
Suarez 36, and I just happened to think of something, Alex. I know the numbers I'm going to play, and that would be 5, 23, 48, 19, and 22.
What would be your Powerball number?
That would be 38.
That's a good one.
And if for those that are trying to figure out why, that is your running order, your top 6. You think it's going to work?
Of course.
Why not?
975 million. I'll split it with you.
I like where your mind is on that. So after another pass down the pit lane with the jet dryers, NASCAR has made the decision when the pit lane opens. These will be live pit stops for the first time here at Richmond Raceway tonight.
Here we go.
And again, you can't
Pits
say
are
enough, Jeff,
open.
about the work that not only the teams have done, but NASCAR, and the tip of the cap to the race fans for putting on a race we're 73 laps in, when quite frankly we would still be sitting here twiddling our thumbs waiting for this track to dry.
All I can say, I think the word I want to use is committed. I mean, they were committed to running this race. They were not going to let rain stop us. That with Goodyear and those Goodyear Racing wet tires have put on a good show so far. Pit road is open, lap 74.
Here they come.
And again, this will be a live pit stop, and Jason Toy, here they come.
And the crews are amped up for it. They are primed and ready to go. The first to hit, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Todd Gilliland with a great run. Biggest thing here, you don't want to slide the car through the pit stall. They're still damp a little bit through here. That's been the last thing relayed to these drivers. Martin Truex Jr., left side tires going on, Sunoco fuel going in. Ryan Blaney, also Ty Gibbs getting 4 tires in Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
Bubba Wallace is in 4 tires, Sunoco Racing fuel. Chase Elliott, minor adjustment on his Chevy Camaro, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing fuel. Kyle Larson has the first pit
Off the
He is
tire
down
team.
and away. Larson wins the battle off from pit road. Bubba Wallace goes out second. Alex Bowman third. Looks like Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain, your top 5. Minor adjustments on most of these cars. That was a short run, and they now have a good feel for how these slick Goodyear Racing Eagles will perform these pit stops. Lap 74, end of stage number 1.
As Steve Post called them off the pit lane correctly. Top 4 will hold serve. Big mover up to the 5th spot after gaining 2 positions on the pit lane. That's Chase Elliott.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, underage sale prohibited. Introducing Zone Nicotine
about to
Pouches,
start
the perfect balance
stage
of
2.
unparalleled comfort, longer lasting flavor, and nicotine that satisfies. Whether you're zoning in during the race or zoning out after a tough day at work, Zone gets you there faster and keeps you there longer. Available in 7 flavors and at 6 and 9 milligram strengths. Find Zone at zonepouches.com and retailers near you. Own your Zone with Zone Nicotine Pouches.
The 2004 NASCAR Cup Series championship was won in dramatic fashion.
Well, they changed right side tires only. The entire wheel came off.
But what happened throughout the year is what makes it one of NASCAR's biggest seasons. Hear all the stories on NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History. This week on Chasing History.
And I told everybody to listen, look, Carl Edwards is the guy that should be in this car.
Get the latest episode of NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History at MRN.com or on your favorite podcast platform.
From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
NASCAR's next generation of stars drive in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
And here they come. Zane Smith now will try to advance his way to the lead.
Catch the excitement of every race right here.
NASCAR has made it official. Zane Smith is a back-to-back winner at the Daytona International Speedway in the opener.
On the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Back here at the Richmond Raceway, working caution flag number 2 of the event. Caution flag number 1 came out on lap 30. It was a competition caution. to get the wet weather tires off of the race cars. Here, this caution was because of the problem that Daniel Suarez had, courtesy of the right front bumper of the Josh Berry car that sent him for a long, lazy spin.
Right now, it's Kyle Larson that has been enjoying
Larson,
the look out
Wallace,
the front
Bowman,
windshield
Truex,
the most,
Elliott,
with nobody in front of him. 66 laps at
Logano,
the front of
Chastain,
the
Berry,
77
Priest,
completed.
and Gilliland.
The driver,
Rounding out the top
31-year-old
10.
driver from Elk Grove, California, is a two-time winner here at the Richmond Raceway. Looking to go a third time. How about the driver running in position number 2? We talked about him earlier. A solid climb up the leaderboard for Bubba Wallace.
It has been, and he has been rock solid all race long. Now they had a chance to put a couple of wrenches to the car, maybe adjust some air pressure on all of these machines. We'll find out who made the right adjustments and who did not.
And I'm going to drop one more name. He's running, has been, since the drop of the green flag, in the top 10. Although he's faded now to 10th, you got to give a call to Todd Gilliland. He's just had a really good night so far.
I think they've had a great weekend all weekend long. They were great in practice, obviously great in qualifying, and he's backing it up here in the race, and this is good for that young man, for his confidence, good for that race team's confidence to run this many laps in the top 10.
He finished 6th in stage number 1. He'll restart 10th as we get ready to go under the green flag. Stage 2 is underway.
Stage 2 is underway.
Kyle Larson will
Exclamation
try to get away
point,
from
restart
Bubba
in the
Wallace.
chat.
Take Bubba up the racetrack, inside lane, wide open as they race to 1.
Here they come through turns 1 and 2. Bubba Wallace trying to keep up now with Kyle Larson. He'll do it out of 2. Larson with the better bite from the bottom is going to reclaim the lead. Bubba's going to slide in right behind him in second.
And leave them fighting wheel to wheel for the number 3 spot. It's Martin Truex Jr. around the outside of the Alex Bowman car. Welcome up Joey Logano, and now Josh Berry in the mix.
They all stack up from third on back. Martin Truex Jr. on the prowl on the outside. Again, the outside lane is strong here in the early going. Give Truex third, Bowman fourth, and it is a knot of cars from fifth on back.
Boy, it sure is. A couple of Ford Mustang dark horses go side by side. Josh Berry to the inside of Joey Logano. Right behind them, Chase Elliott looks on.
Chase Elliott's in the high lane. He's got a great view of this side-by-side battle for fifth. Couple of Fords, Berry on the bottom, Logano up top. Now Elliott is joined by Ross Chastain and others.
They are working up off of turn number 4, coming to the line.
Chastain
Elliott will clear the Chastain car by going around the outside. Ryan Preece is on the move, who's in the number 10 spot, and he wants 9th.
Ryan Preece had a good run so far, so good for him. He is huddled up at the bottom of the racetrack out of 2, while Josh Berry, that is, will finally clear the Logano car.
Guys, we've got to take a look at that number 12 car. Ryan Blaney, our last year's champion, all the way back in the 32nd position right now, Alex. That car doesn't look like he's having any luck at all so far. He's got himself trapped in the back of this pack.
Well, there's a number of drivers, Alex, that are back there. Austin Cindric is back there outside of the top 20. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is back there. Chase Briscoe struggling back in 28th, Alex, when his team cars are climbing the leaderboard and running inside the top 10.
And those two drivers being Josh Berry, who is 5th, and Ryan Preece, who just got past at the start-finish line to fall to the 11th spot. And ironically, both Berry and Preece are 2 of the 4 Stewart-Haas Racing drivers that are yet to finish inside the top 10 this year. Here they are at Richmond and running in the top 10. Their teammates struggling just a bit.
And they're wound up right now. Here comes Josh Berry looking for yet another spot. He works down to the inside of Alex Bowman, and Mike Bagley blows him away.
We are seeing a very aggressive Josh Berry, Jeff. He muzzled his way under Joey Logano to take that spot. Last time off the end of the back straightaway, Berry took the right front fender, eased it on Bowman's left rear fender, and just glided him up the racetrack to root his way underneath him.
Well, that's the second time Berry's used the right front corner of that Sunny D Dark Horse Mustang. He spun Daniel Suarez early on. Now he moves up the racetrack Alex Bowman. Rusty, you got to do what you got to do on a short track sometimes.
Well, sometimes you got to rough them up a little bit to get around them. You don't want to spin them out or nothing, but you got to let them know you're there and you're getting tired of getting blocked, you know?
You know, when I look down the leaderboard, there's some other names that have yet to surface among the front-running cars. One of them, maybe most notably, Denny Hamlin, who is back running in position 17. William Byron right behind him in 18th. Kyle Busch is running 20th. I guess maybe the biggest surprise, and Posty, you can weigh in on this, is Denny Hamlin. He is always so good here. Right now, not so good in running 17th.
Well, you're right about that, Jeff, and listening to him and Chris Gabehart talk, Denny can just not get that car down in the corner, and once you struggle getting into the corner, nothing gets much better throughout the course of it. So Chris Gabehart made an adjustment during that stage break, and they're hoping that this Toyota for Denny Hamlin will be better getting down into the corners, but that just sets you up for a long way around these turns if you can't get entered into that turn properly, and that's been the struggle for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, Denny has lost 4 positions since the restart and is going the wrong way on the leaderboard right now, but we still have a long way to go. 311 laps, as a matter of fact, to go in tonight's Toyota Owners 400. I think it's worth mentioning right now, guys, is the fact that Stage 1 was a relatively short one at only 70 laps. Stage 2 is 160 laps in length. We're going to go to lap 230 to end stage number 2, and this is going to open up all kinds of possibilities now for these crew chiefs.
You're going to be monitoring how these teams approach stage number 2. They obviously cannot go the distance. What are you hearing as we work lap number 91?
Well, one of the things we did hear from the crew chiefs before the race today was the unknown on how things were going to lay out when we got to those slick tires. So they had a relatively short run to end stage 1 there. They were able to read a little bit off of that. So it sets the stage for them to either make stage 2 a 2-stop and split it up in the thirds, or they make it halfway. Some of the drivers of mine in the pit road are talking about their race cars now, some 10-plus laps into this run, and trying to set the game plan for what they're going to do the rest of the way. But either 2 stops, or they're going to try to make it 1.
Race leader is Kyle Larson by a 1.5 seconds now over Bubba Wallace, who is second. Larson, of course, drives for Rick Hendrick Motorsports. His teammate William Byron, coming off of the big win a week ago, a 2-time winner here this season, is William Byron, is the first driver to multiple wins, is boxed all the way back in there in the 18th spot. His team on the pit stop got blocked in their pit box, had to put the car in reverse to get around the car of Chase Briscoe to be able to get back out on the outer lane of pit road. So Byron, a little miscue down there with the race team, and that's just part of racing. You have the same dimension pit box for everybody, but you don't have to stop in the dead center of it. You can stop short in the box, you can stop long in the box.
William Byron, a multi-time winner, the first to do that for the 3rd year in a row, meaning that he was the first one to win 2 races. He's done that 3 years in a row. Super talented, winner at Daytona, backed it up a week ago with a win on the road course. The driver that's out front right now, a winner at Las Vegas.
That's Kyle Larson as his lead continues to
1.5 seconds between Larson and Wallace.
Second place is Bubba Wallace.
Go back another 4
Mike
tenths.
Bagley, Martin Truex Jr.
Martin Truex Jr.
Not a surprise
Another
to
4
see
tenths
Truex
to
in the
Josh
top
Berry.
MTJ is just
Another 4
laying in the
tenths.
weeds in the early
You'll find
going.
Joey
He has not
Logano.
put that car in a bind all night. That car has speed.
Go back
and
7
it is
tenths is
solid
where you'll
right
find
down to the bottom
Alex
of the
Bowman,
racetrack in turn number
3.6
3,
seconds back.
just laying a car length behind Bubba
7
in
tenths.
second.
When you take a
is
look
where you'll
at
find
winners
Chase Elliott
by
in 7th.
organization here, Joe Gibbs Racing has by far and away more wins than anybody else. Joe Gibbs Racing with 18 wins, including 9 of the last 16. Then Penny Enterprises with 15. Hendrick Motorsports with 12 and looking for 13 here tonight. Let's take a look at the way the Toyota drivers are running currently, Alex. Bubba Wallace right now 2nd. Martin Truex Jr. is running 3rd. Christopher Bell is running 10th. And then you get back to Tyler Reddick, he's 13th.
Yeah, you're right about that. As you continue down, you've got Ty Gibbs 15th, Denny Hamlin 16th, Eric Jones 22nd. John Hunter Nemechek is back in 29th position as we look up off of turn number 4. The battle for the 2nd spot beginning to heat up. They're going to go side by side. A couple of Toyota Camry XSEs battling for the 2nd spot off turn 2.
Martin Truex Jr. last time through turn 4 took
Off
a
the
wire
second,
line, got a
Bubba Wallace
great
has
run
it,
down the
Truex
front
Jr.
stretch.
wants it.
They raced side by side for a lap. Now it's single file with Martin Truex Jr. now having just taken 2nd.
And as
Truex,
you pointed out, Mike, no surprise to see MTJ climbing the leaderboard here at Richmond. He takes his Toyota to 2nd, right in front of the Toyota of Bubba Wallace. Out front, though, it is the Chevrolet Camaro being driven by Kyle Larson on lap 100.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Dickett Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life.
He's never lost you after leading 50 or more, so
DicketJunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
We shall see.
Bubba Wallace, so good for so long, is beginning to fade just a bit. Josh Berry got by him just a couple of laps ago, and now Joey Logano has just done the same thing. Berry has come all the way to third. Logano up to fourth. Bubba has fallen to fifth. All the while, Kyle Larson continues to show the way, but now he shows the way in front of Martin Truex Jr. From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hey racing fans, William Byron here, driver of the number 24 Liberty University Chevy. I'm excited to tell you that Liberty is giving away $74,000 in scholarships. Winners can choose from over 600 online programs of study and join me as a Liberty student. Get your future on track today. Learn more about Liberty University's $74,000 scholarship giveaway at liberty.edu/24. That's liberty.edu/24.
Jerry Falwell School. Left.
From tickets, parking, and travel, race weekends can be stressful. Let Racing Electronics make communication easy. With a scanner and Easy Talk intercom system rental from Racing Electronics, you can effortlessly talk over the noise of the race. Hear uncensored driver and crew communication from every team in the race, or tune into the race broadcast with your favorite MRN announcers. To learn more, visit racingelectronics.com today.
Christopher Bell running 9th. On board with him as he follows Ross Chastain.
Lap 109.37 remain in stage number 2. Welcome back to Richmond Raceway. It is tonight under the lights, the Toyota Owners 400. And it has not been a disappointment, not by a long shot. We got things started off in the damp. At that point, we switched over, I guess it was, 40, 50 laps into that before we switched over?
Yeah, 30 laps.
30 laps, that's right, with the comp caution. We switched over from the wet weather tires to the racing slicks. And right now, as we work, lap 109, it is Kyle Larson as we look at the top 10. Kyle Larson running in front of Martin Truex Jr., Josh Berry and Joey Logano. They go 3-4. Bubba Wallace is stabilized now. He's 5th, running in front of Alex Bowman, his teammate Chase Elliott. Ross Chastain right now 8th, running in front of Christopher Bell. And Chris Buescher, again, the winner last time we were here in the fall. Chris Buescher completes the top 10.
You mentioned Christopher Bell in that Toyota Camry XSE. Started towards the tail end of the field, has worked his way into the top 10 right here at 100 laps of this 400 lap race in the Toyota Owners 400. So a good move there. And that is a good transition as we welcome back to the Motor Racing Network broadcast Paul Dolshaw, Group Manager, Motorsports, Toyota Motor North America. Thank you for coming back, and thank you again for the offer for the ham for lunch today. Sorry we couldn't make it.
No, I get it. It's a busy weekend, and the rain kind of screws everything up, but we'll get you next time.
Absolutely. It's a great race ongoing right now. It's been a great day. Grandstands jam-packed full of folks, but it's more than that on Toyota weekend here at Richmond Raceway. You guys do so much in and around the greater Richmond, Virginia community. What types of things have you been up to here lately with the community?
Yeah, it's good to see a great crowd come out tonight on this Easter Sunday. And yeah, we had a little check presentation earlier for the Special Olympics of Virginia. Gave them a check for 20 grand. Just great to see the support for those athletes as they go out and compete and do their best every time and every weekend, just as we all strive to. So good to see them. And then April 10th, you can come in and try to raise some more money and help them out some more and drive your car on the track. So hopefully you can come out and do that.
That'll be a fun thing to do, to get out and bring your car around here, around Richmond Raceway. Now, it's been the Toyota Owners 400 here at Richmond Raceway for 10 years now. What makes this such a valuable relationship for Toyota and Richmond area Toyota dealers?
It's been really good. It's really been a track where we've been able to really engage our dealer group and get them involved and active. They're out here. We've got a bunch of their regional office from Central Atlantic Toyota, our regional office here on the East Coast, that's out here engaging with the fans, helping support, doing campground roaming and all those fun things. So, but it's really been beneficial. We've seen some great improvements. The sales in this area are up about 8% versus the region, which is 6%. So a little bit of a lift there. I think the NASCAR fans are coming out and supporting our local Toyota dealers, so we appreciate that.
Absolutely right about that. NASCAR fans are great about doing just that. Now, we're obviously about a quarter of a way through the NASCAR Cup Series season with your brand new Toyota Camry XSE. How would you rate Team Toyota's performance so far?
I would say it's going pretty well. You know, obviously, when we were in Daytona in that first qualifying lap, I was nervous. I said that earlier, but I've recovered from that. As the teams get more used to the car and get some more data points and get working on it with TRD, I can only expect greater things. And we're excited about how Joe Gibbs Racing is doing. You know, we've got a couple wins already, and with 2311 doing fantastic, with Bubba Wallace running up front, and Tyler Reddick's going to do great, we know for sure. And
Third
even
season
Legacy
for 2311.
Just a lot to learn, right? They've got a lot of data points to transfer over, a lot of new tools to learn. So we're just pleased with how they're coming along, and a great addition to the family.
Well, we're certainly thankful for you and your entire team at Toyota for another outstanding Toyota weekend here at Richmond Raceway. All the best to Toyota, to you, your family. Happy Easter, and thank you so much for what you do.
Yeah, thank you guys for being out here and taking care of everybody, but appreciate all the fans that are paying attention, watching on TV, and out here at the track right now.
Absolutely. Paul Dolshaw, Group Manager Motorsports, Toyota Motor North America.
We worked lap 119 as Kyle Larson comes across the line. Thank you, Paul. Good to see you. Martin Truex Jr., who drives one of those Toyotas, running second. Josh Berry, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, top 5. If they're going to split this stage with pit stops, we would expect them to be on pit road in about 5 laps. If it happens, we'll cover it for you.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
1/3 distance in stage number 2.
107 remain in the stage, and here they come onto pit road. The first one to hit his marks is Brad Keselowski.
The Ford gets a stop in front of the crew with Brad Keselowski behind the wheel. Right side tires on, no chassis wrench on the right side. Sunoco fuel going in as well. They give him a push away. First one to make a stop here on this end, Steve Post.
Kenny Hamlin brings the Mavis Toyota in. They did not find the handle on that one. Going to be 4 tires and chassis adjustment. Hamlin's down and away. Here's Josh Berry. Berry did not want much of an adjustment at all. They change out the water bottle. They change out the windshield. Drew quickly around to the left side. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Jason.
Ty Gibbs is in. He just completed his stop. 4 tires Sunoco Fuel. A tear-off comes off the front of Martin Truex Jr.'s blue and white race car. Sunoco Fuel goes in. Left side Goodyear Racing Eagles go on. Routine pit work. Little stutter as he pulls away. Out of the way. Steve Post.
It has been a rough day for Kyle Busch, and it continues. Very, very ill-handling race car. 4 tires chassis adjustment. Sunoco Racing Fuel. John Hunter Nemechek is down and away. way. Here comes his teammate Eric Jones in for pit service here. These pit stops, green flag stop. Lap 125. Jason, how about in front of you?
Austin Dillon with a very slow pit stop. He's going to lose more spots on pit road on this end. The pit road, Steve Post, more in front of you.
Ross Chastain brings his car in. It's been good, but not great for him. Crew Chief Phil Surgeon making the call. Going to be 4 tires. Sunoco Racing Fuel tire just about got away. One crew member quickly goes out and retrieves that tire. Ross Chastain grabs the gear. He is down and away here as we continue with the green flag pit stop.
Carson Hocevar making his stop. Now, question is immediately coming to mind, will Kyle Larson pit and split, or will he go all the way to the midway point? He has yet to come to pit road, nor has Joey Logano or Bubba Wallace or Alex Bowman. Chase Elliott has yet to pit. We've got a number of drivers, Alex Hayden, that may elect to stay out and make it just a one-stop run over the course of stage number 2.
That's something that could absolutely play out here and how this cycle of pit stops takes place. Here's Chase Elliott. That'll answer that question. He gives up a top 5 spot. That Uniforced Uniforms car, seafoam green and white, the Camaro makes its way to Steve Post.
3, 2, 1. Chase Elliott stops it right on the signboard here. Working around to the right side is the crew. Right side tires off, right side tires on. Around the left side, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Fuel is in the car. Chase Elliott's down and away. Jason, Joey Logano's in front of you.
Paul Wolf's his crew chief, kept him out a little longer, got up to the 2nd spot. 4 tires, Sunoco Fuel, no adjustments. Very happy with the race car fired off for Joey Logano.
Now we see Austin Cindric coming on to pit road. No sign yet of Kyle Larson. Cindric is in.
Austin Cindric brings his Ford Mustang Dark Horse into the crew. It's been a good run, not a great run for them. They're just struggling to find track position on that car, and they're a little slow on the right rear. So a little slow on the right rear.
Cindric and Truex are in. Ryan Blaney is in.
His Penske Racing teammate, Ryan
Chase
Blaney,
Elliott
in front of you, Jason.
Ryan Blaney coming in a lap after his teammate, Joey Logano. 4 tires, Sunoco Fuel, trying to get the balance right on the race car. He hadn't had the fire off that he's hoped for. Making the adjustments here for Ryan Blaney.
There are only 8 cars on the lead lap with 99 to go here in stage number 2 from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Every hero's
last stop for Chase Elliott, 11.41.
Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
This is Steve Post. If you love sprint cars, you'll love Wing Nation. All the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. Join Ashley Strumming, Aaron Evernham, and me every Tuesday on Motor Racing Networks and Wing Nation's Facebook pages. We go live with the weekend's winners and newsmakers from around the country. You can also find the podcast of all past shows on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast providers. Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
Kyle Larson continuing to stay on the racetrack on some older Goodyear tires. 7 cars, that's it. That's left on the lead lap. Now, 6 of those 7 have not made a pit stop in this stage as of yet, Jeff. The 7th place car on the lead lap has, and that's Martin Truex Jr.
Ty Dillon has not, and Ty Dillon has gone a lap down. The other drivers that remain on the racetrack, and they run 1 through 6, obviously they've yet to come to pit road. Kyle Larson has not. Neither has Bubba Wallace, Alex Bowman, Ty Gilliland, and Daniel Suarez. Justin Haley is the other car on the lead lap that has yet to come to pit road. The car that is moving up, though, is Martin Truex Jr. Now, we say he's moving up the leaderboard, but Truex right now is 21, mark it down, Alex will explain why, 21 seconds behind Kyle Larson.
And he's running with the new Goodyear tires, 1.2 seconds a lap faster than race leader Kyle Larson. And that 21-second deficit is now down to 19 seconds just in a lap and a half there, Jeff. So, Rusty, the strategies that are being played out here, which strategy do you favor?
Well, I was just questioning what they did. Guys, I've been over here with my pad of paper, adding a lot of things up. They only ran 50 laps or something that first run. I would have thought they would have run a lot longer. I mean, the next stage ends at 2:30. I thought it was an early time to stop. I mean, I think what Larson's doing is not that bad. Maybe he'll have better tires when he pits than the rest of them. We'll have to see what the strategy works out, but I just thought it was awful early for that many cars to come down pit road.
Take you all the way back to NASCAR Live race day. Brad Keselowski and the Progressive Keys to Winning said strategy.
See how much time I'm losing?
Road, Alex Hayden.
The guys in front of cars, I'd be pitting right now if I'm Kyle Larson.
Strategy with Kyle Larson, but it was Brad that says, keep an eye on pit road. It's about the crew chiefs. When they make the right call, you go to victory lane. But you roll the dice, you gamble, and we're seeing that come into play right now.
We are, and that is part of the fun at Richmond Raceway now. This is a different Richmond Raceway than 10 years ago or 15 years ago when it was dubbed a super speedway short track because the speeds were so high here and they whipped around this 3/4 mile D-shaped racetrack. As the surface has gotten older and aged, it has become now a strategy type racetrack. And isn't that fun? Because the cars who have already made a pit stop here in this stage, Jeff, are ripping around this racetrack. Those that have not, like race leader Kyle Larson, they're hanging on for dear life, but they're trying to hit that number, trying to hit that lap to make their strategy. The bottom line is if you stop one less time than everybody else, that's more speed on the track and more time that you don't give up.
He said hit that number. What is that number for the 5 car of Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman? Let's find out. Steve Post, you are monitoring the radios.
The split point of this stage, splitting at 50-50, is about lap 163, about 20 laps from now, and I believe that's when you'll see maybe a lap or two sooner than that, Kyle Larson come into the pit stop. It's obvious the other drivers that have already pitted are going to split this stage in third, so we'll see how they fare. Now, Cliff Daniels has been on the radio with Kyle Larson. I cannot imagine you're the race leader and cars are blowing by to the inside and blowing by to the outside. Cliff Daniels said, your pace is fine. Your pace is perfect right now. Keep running your pace, keep running your line. We'll bring you in, and in 20 laps, you'll be the guy blowing around the inside and the outside of everyone else. So Larson feels like that this strategy, one stop here, splitting this stage in half, is what they need to do to get to the end of this stage, and then we'll see what happens in stage number 3.
You have to have full commitment, full faith in your crew chief and the strategy that's being played out when you're getting passed by everybody out there, it seems like right now. It was 1.2 seconds a lap faster than the race leader for Martin Truex Jr., who's now up to the 4th spot. It's less than that now. It's only, 6 to 7 tenths of a second. So the more those tires get green flag laps on them, eventually they're going to equalize and plateau out. It's a matter of the strategy for Larson and Wallace and Bowman, these guys that are staying out there, to hang on and don't give up a ton of track position till those numbers plateau and they start running similar speeds.
Truex was behind the
Bull
race leader, if you remember. 21 seconds.
160.
It's down now to 11. We're going to check on Todd Gilliland in just a moment, Jason. Mike Bagley, you need to weigh in on this. Those that have and those that have not, talking about brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles, it's not hard to tell the difference between one to the other.
You know, we were just talking about how this racetrack has changed its reputation over the years. Watching the differential between the cars that have and have not pitted, it's almost like watching a green flag run at Darlington. Because as you know, that's a very abrasive racetrack. And when you come and you get new tires and you pass somebody that has not, you just blow them out of the water. That's exactly what's happening here right now. This is a very abrasive racetrack, Tire management is underway. Tire strategies are in play. And that's exactly what
About
we're
10
watching
laps from
unfold.
now,
It's amazing
we'll
to have
start
the
looking
patience
at
and
Kyle
the
Larson.
commitment
And
to
the
the
others have
strategy
not
like
stopped.
Kyle Larson and Cliff Daniel do, because Larson has been getting past right and left here in about the last 15 minutes.
And he's not the only one. Jason Toy, other drivers employing that same strategy, including Todd Gilliland. As we look up off of the back straightaway, race leader Kyle Larson is slowing down. Larson is going to come to pit road right here. Here's Kyle Larson coming off the pace. In front of him is Daniel Suarez as they both come to pit road under green flag conditions. Lap number 151, Steve Post.
The engineers on these teams are watching every lap, every time. I thought Kyle Larson might go a little bit longer, but the engineers laying lap over lap after lap on the computers say now is the time for Kyle Larson to bring his car in. Go around to the right side. It's going to be 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. No adjustments on that car. Kyle Larson, very, very good. And we'll see how this strategy plays out here as they wrap up their pit service, Jason.
Gilliland makes his pit stop, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, no adjustments. Happy with the race car. It's fired up very, very well. They're looking to keep it that way. Steve Post.
Bubba Wallace really good this run. He had just a little bit of a free tight the center situation.
We'll give the lead to Truex.
Going to be 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Bubba Wallace grabs a gear. The McDonald's Toyota is headed back to the speedway.
Now we see Alex Bowman coming your way, Postman. So those drivers that pitted way back on lap 74 feel the need to come to pit road right now. Let's follow Alex Bowman.
Alex Bowman, the Ally colors on the Chevy Camaro. Here he is, bringing it in. Blake Harris is the crew chief on it. The crew around to the right side. Right side tires off. Right side tires on. Little slow on the right rear. A little slow on the right rear. We'll see how that impacts it. Left side work is done. Sunoco fuel is plugged in. Alex Bowman is down and away. His pit stop, lap number 154.
And now Kyle Larson,
now
Bubba
Truex,
Wallace,
Berry,
Alex Bowman
Logano.
and this group are going to go about 1.2 seconds a lap faster than their competition. And that pit stop by Larson and his team, he is still on the lead lap, back in the 16th spot, 22 seconds behind new race leader Martin Truex Jr.
Now 17 cars on the lead lap.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market, performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Welcome to Martinsville. Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, and heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR weekend at Martinsville Speedway, April 5th through the 7th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
Top 5 as we run with 72 laps to go in stage number 2. Martin Truex Jr. is the race leader. Josh Berry is second. Joey Logano is third. Christopher Bell is fourth. And Chris Buescher rounds out the top 5. From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans,
Truex Jr. 6 seconds ahead of Josh Berry.
Is the ultimate resource for planning and attending your next event. Discover tickets, event schedules, maps, and facility information to make your experience memorable. Get notified of the latest happenings
Bell,
your mobile
Buescher.
device.
Top 5, Kozlowski 6, Chase Elliott 7, Hamlin 8, Ty Gibbs 9, William
Listen to
Byron
driver
10.
and team communications while select NASCAR tracks. Download NASCAR tracks today on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins. A career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
track here at the Richmond Raceway. Martin Truex Jr. continuing to show the way, driving, of course, for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Joe Gibbs Racing, which track, Jeff Striegel, do you think they've got the most wins as an organization?
Well, I know they have 18 here at Richmond. I'm going to say Richmond.
Ding, ding, ding. You are correct. You win. 27 cents. Congratulations on that one. It's Truex up front, Josh Berry second, and Joey Logano third. 163 laps are complete. Before we get you back to the action on the track, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Richmond Raceway, the NASCAR Cup Series, racing the Toyota Owners 400. Big thanks to all of our premier partners, Busch Light, Coca-Cola, Geico, and Xfinity. Alongside Jeff Striegel and NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace, my name is Alex Hayden. Mike Bagley is out in the turns for us tonight, and up and down the pit lane is Steve Post and Jason Toy.
And we are working right now through the mid stages of stage number 2. Right now we are 165 laps completed, and we have 65 remaining in the stage, 235 overall. If you're just joining us, what we're seeing right now, Alex, is the passing of Superman's Cape. And by that we mean those that are going to make this a 2-stop in the stage, a 2-stop stage, compared to those that are making a 1-stop. And Truex had the cape on earlier. He's passed that over now to Kyle Larson as we continue to watch Kyle Larson climb the leaderboard back up. He's led 139 laps so far tonight, but Larson, after just making a pit stop, is 8th.
He is, and he was
Larson's
back
led
in
3
18th.
times
so
for
yeah,
145
Larson
laps.
is methodically closing in on the race leader, Martin Truex Jr.
Truex
and the rest
once
of the
for
top 10
15.
as he continues to run 8th. Now, Rusty,
Chase Elliott
you've
once
already
for
gone
5
through
laps.
one complete full sheet
and
of paper there.
going through
You've
falls
got another
twice
one
for
ready
2
to
laps.
go. You've been keeping up, listening to Steve Post and Jason Toy and all these strategies. What types of things are you paying attention to here?
Well, when I saw the guys come down pit road right off the bat, and they pitted like 50 laps in that run, and I'm going, what are they doing? Halfway in this run is 78 laps. So Kyle Larson's staying out, he's staying out, he's staying out. Now the halfway point for
Just
that was
3
run
yellows
78 laps
to this
instead
point.
of pit with 50
2
laps
for cause.
into it. That's exactly what Larson did. Now he's took this run right to the halfway portion, meaning that right now Cal Larson's got 27 lap fresher tires and has no problem making it to the end of stage 2, lap 230. So I really don't understand why everybody pitted so early. I totally agree with what Larson done. That doesn't make it right or wrong, but there was 2 different strategies there, that's for sure.
And we are seeing the caution flag
And a
fly
caution.
at the same time as we see Chase Briscoe on pit road. Don't know if that is the reason for the caution flag yet.
He had come to pit road. Michael McDowell was on pit road as well, so both of those drivers were making routine stops here when the caution flag flew. There's no incident on the racetrack. Looks like this could very well be a debris caution here at Richmond Raceway.
Caution.
Nevertheless, it is our 3rd caution flag flying here of the night.
Well, we have a minute and it
This will be the
shuffled
3rd
around.
yellow.
So let's take a minute now and give you a look at the leaderboard
Third
presented
yellow of the
by
night.
Blue Green Vacations. And this look at the leaderboard
This
will
one
come
coming
your
at
way
lap
on lap number 70
169.
and under caution. Blue Green Vacations, the official vacation ownership provider of NASCAR, invites you to believe in the power of vacation. With Blue Green, you can create a lifetime of memories in our collection of unique, locally inspired resorts and enjoy exclusive access to VIP NASCAR experiences. Start your vacation journey tonight at bluegreenvacations.com.
Right now, as we continue to work under the caution flag, Rusty, this is a fortuitous caution for a lot of different drivers, namely those who didn't have the opportunity to come in with the different cycle going on. Martin Truex Jr., as we look at the full field rundown, is the race leader. Josh Berry is 2nd, Joey Logano is 3rd, Christopher Bell is 4th, and Chris Buescher is 5th. Kyle Larson is up to 6th, Brad Keselowski 7th, Chase Elliott is 8th, Denny Hamlin is 9th, and Ty Gibbs is 10th.
11th, William Byron under the caution. Noah Gragson 12th. Ross Chastain 13th. Tyler Reddick 14th. Bubba Wallace 15th. Kyle Busch is 16th. Now that's big because the rest of these drivers are one lap down in 17th. Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Ryan Preece, and Austin Cindric complete the top 20. That's a top 20 look presented by Blue Green Vacations. Pit road is open. Some of the drivers, not all, coming to pit road. Jason Toy.
Martin Truex Jr. got the call from James Mullis, crew chief, to come down. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. They're going to take a tear off the windshield. Has not had to make adjustments on this race car all night long. Been very happy with the way it fires off. Also, Brett Keselowski is in. Ty Gibbs also in instead of pit road. Steve Post.
These are the lead lap cars in on pit road. Josh Berry is in. They've not had any adjustments on that car. Very happy with it. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing fuel. Here's Kyle Larson in the very first pit box. Joey Logano wins the battle off from pit road. Josh Berry out second. Christopher Bell goes out third. Chris Buescher fourth, and it looks like Kyle Larson's going to be fifth now with Denny Hamlin in hot pursuit. So pit stops here, lap number 112, and these are the drivers that are on the lead lap.
And there are a ton of cars that are going to be pinned a lap down with 58 laps to go here in the stage. They've got a question right now. Do you come to pit road? Do you stay out, take a wave around? We'll see what their answer is going to be shortly.
What should we do with the broke propeller? What should we do with the broke propeller? Don't look at me, I wasn't driving. Thank you, you're not helping. I don't even know why you bought this boat. You told me that you loved this boat. That was before you wrecked the boat. Well, now you've made it awkward.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Calling all nonprofit organizations, the NASCAR Foundation has great news. The NASCAR Day Give-a-thon is back for 2024. What's that, you ask? It's a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their local missions. By signing up for the Give-a-thon, you gain access to a national marketing campaign to build visibility and donations for your nonprofit at no cost to you. And as a bonus, special incentives and prizes will be announced along the way to help you maximize your efforts.
Stayed
Visit
out.
NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today.
From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back here at Richmond Raceway, working under the caution flag for the third time in the Toyota Owners 400. Jeff, some of those drivers that were a lap down did in fact come to pit lane, while others are going to stay on the racetrack and take a wave around.
So we took 9 wave arounds, Alex, in all. Among them, unofficially, Eric Jones, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Top
took a wave
10
around.
heading
Harrison
to
Burton
the
took
restart.
a wave around.
It's Truex, Logano,
So did
Berry,
Todd
Christopher
Gilliland
Bell,
and Daniel
Buescher,
Suarez,
Larson, Hamlin,
Ty Dillon,
Keselowski,
and
Chase
Chase
Elliott,
Briscoe.
and William
The
Byron.
ones that came onto pit road electing not to take the wave around, feeling like they need the new tires: Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, John Hunter Nemechek, Zane Smith, Austin Dillon, Kaz Gralla, Daniel Hemrick, and Corey LaJoie, among others. So they, Alex, you go back to strategy, you go back to the gamble. You know you're restarting with 54 laps remaining, so you're going to elect to go with the new tires rather than getting back on the lead lap. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we will, but there's a price to pay when your car's not handling well early in a race and you get off sequence with everybody else and get a lap down, knowing that a lot of drivers and teams are going to be doing green flag pit stops. And when you're on the wrong side of that card, you can find yourself in trouble in a hurry. The field is coming to the Geico Restart Zone, presented by Geico. Is your insurance playbook confusing? Make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place.
Pace car's going to peel off this time.
Geico.com today to get started.
53 laps remain in
restart
stage
in the
number
chat.
2. Up front, on the inside, Martin Truex Jr., and he is
And
gone.
we're going back green.
Joey Logano scheduled to start outside row 2 is going to, or outside row 1 is going to have to fight to hold on to the second spot. Oh, we got one car way up the racetrack, grazing the outside wall. That may have been Austin Cindric as they race down the back straightaway.
Watching the battle for second, Josh Berry, Joey Logano side by side for the runner-up spot.
That car that went up and grazed the wall was Ryan Blaney. It has been a
grazed the
difficult
outside
night
wall.
for Blaney
Tough
tonight.
night for him.
He's finally found a place to run right in the middle of the pack as we pick up the battle for the second spot.
Here it comes into turn number 2.
Now for
Josh
second.
Berry, fender out in
Josh
front.
Berry
He'll
has
slide
it.
under Joey
Logano
Logano.
trying to
Put
take
Berry
it.
in second. Logano falls to third. They're side by side for fourth.
And one more note to be made, and that was Ty Gibbs busting too fast on pit road. He had to restart at the tail end of the field. He's trying to work his way back up front now. Josh Berry continues to work his way up front. He's second and looking for more.
Joey Logano in third. Kyle Larson's looking for a way to get back to the front. As far as he is concerned, he'll just slide under Christopher Bell and take fourth.
Up off of turn number 4 here they come. Denny Hamlin to the inside of Bell. 2 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas there. They work right behind Kyle Larson's car. This is for 5th and 6th.
Larson finds his way through. He'll complete
Bell
the
for
pass.
5th and
Denny
6th.
Hamlin trying to do the same.
Christopher
He'll slide
Bell
to the inside.
trying to
He'll
fend
go
off
and
teammate
grab a
Denny
spot
Hamlin.
there. As about the front 10,
50
11.
to go.
All
Aim
single out
stage
for side-by-side battle. That's where Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace race.
Hey, going back to Denny Hamlin, he struggled the whole first part of this race. And finally, some good pit stops and some good strategy got him up front right now. He was kind of marred in the back of the pack for a long time, and now he's sitting there in that 5th position, and guys looking much, much better.
Right now, everybody running nose to tail here on lap 182. So let's just reset the top 10 now after the pit stops. Truex leads. Josh Berry second. Joey Logano and Kyle Larson battling for third. Denny Hamlin and his teammate Christopher Bell, they battle for 5th. Chris Buescher, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, they go 7, 8, and 9. Tyler Reddick right now completes the top 10.
But up front, Martin Truex Jr. trying to keep the field at bay. And boy, Josh Berry, Mike Bagley, he is a driver who got into the back of Daniel Suarez, sent him for a spin back on lap 64 to bring out a caution. He got into the back of a couple of more cars to move him up the racetrack. Now he finds himself riding in the second spot.
A very aggressive night so far for Josh Berry, and it's paying off in a season that started with a lot of frustration and a lot of challenge. Talked to his crew chief earlier in the garage today. They thought they had a good car. They had good strategy mapped out. He started towards the back of the pack, and right now he is 4 car lengths, maybe 5, away from passing Martin Truex Jr. and potentially taking the lead.
It
I have a
was
second
1 year
between
ago
Truex and
when
Berry.
Josh Berry subbed for then injured Chase Elliott in the Napa 9 car, and Josh Berry had a very good run that night. He did lead 10 laps. He ultimately finished in second, runner-up, right where he is running right now, to race leader Martin Truex Jr. And for Martin, you documented much earlier, out front and no surprise. Truex right now over Josh Berry.
It really is not. This is a driver. It took a long time in his Cup Series career to win a short track race. Once he figured it out, he has been a staple at the front of the field at just about every short track. Rusty Wallace, you're a short track ace. You're still a short track ace. What is it like when you get that comfort level at a short track?
Well, I tell you, a lot of people don't really know what it feels like to be so successful on a short track. And Mark Martin, the late Dick Trickle, I can go on with a lot of different short track drivers. Even Darrell Waltrip did this, Davey Allison. They all cut their teeth back in those short tracks in Midwest or Southeast or wherever. And once you start understanding short track racing, it makes a lot of sense when you get to the Cup level that you run good there. I mean, I look at Josh Berry right now. Here's a young guy that's been really, really good on the short tracks of America.
Truex has
it makes
extended
total
his
sense
lead
to me that he's
to
running
about
so well
9
here
tenths
tonight. He
between
knows
himself
what he
and
wants
Josh
out of his
Berry.
car. He knows what groove he needs to run in. He knows what kind of forward
Last
bite
lap was
he needs up off the
23-13
corner
to Berry's
make a pass. He knows all those
23-25.
things. So Not a surprise to me, but it's fun being a short track racer. I'll tell you that, because that's where we all started.
And Josh Berry looking very good in second. Martin Truex Jr. looking good out front. A 3-time winner here, and he won 3 out of the last 9 races. Mike Bagley, he is out front and looking flawless.
And he is in the zone right now. Josh Berry was keeping pace with him, but now Martin Truex Jr. is doing Martin Truex Jr.-like things, like tiptoeing away from the field. His lead a couple of laps ago was maybe 5 car lengths.
That last time by,
he's doubled that plus
Josh
a couple
Berry,
of car lengths right now.
23-29.
Indeed, it is
Truex Jr.'s 23-34.
At the front of the field.
Fastest
Pretty
lap
good race
that
further
time
back for position. Chris Buescher and
actually
William
belonged to the
Byron
22
getting after things
at a
off turn 2.
William Byron going at it there. He's trying to come to life as we reach the middle stages of this race. He's going after for some drivers right now as they continue to work their way around this racetrack and try to work themselves to the front.
So that is position number 7 that Mike was talking about. Buescher and
Again,
Byron right in front of them. A couple of Toyotas going at it. Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. Denny has finally climbed into the top 5. He runs 5th. His teammate Christopher Bell goes 6th. So again, it's Truex, Berry, Logano, Larson, and Hamlin top 5. Christopher Bell, Chris Buescher, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, and Tyler Reddick. You've got 23-11 cars right now. Alex running in position 9 and 10.
They're having a fantastic evening here at Richmond Raceway with both cars inside the top 10 as they run. You can't say the same thing about some of these other race teams. And when you still look at it, Rusty, I know you pointed out Ryan Blaney earlier in the race. He's continuing to have problems. We're not used to seeing Ryan Blaney, our series champion, running back in the 31st spot on a lap-by-lap basis.
Yeah, me neither, especially when his teammate Joey Logano's up there in the 3rd position now, and that car's looking really good. You gotta believe
halfway.
They're going back and forth right now. The teams are looking at the notes going, what is wrong? What are we so much different than Joey is to make our car so far off the pace right now? So they'll continue to work on it. They got about halfway the race. We're about halfway through this race. About another 6 laps will be halfway, and then they can go back to work and try to get this thing figured out and see what's wrong with that number 12 car.
And 36 laps to go in the stage. 2:06, you're right, Rusty. Remains in the race, lap 195 now. Truex, Berry, Logano, Larson, Hamlin, top 5.
The NASCAR Powerball Playoff is back and ready to make a new millionaire in Victory Lane. Last year, it happened to Stephanie. This year, it could be you winning $1 million at NASCAR Championship Weekend. Head to Powerball.com for the list of participating lotteries and join the race for $1 million. Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR and home to the NASCAR Powerball Playoff.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
No change in the top 5, but that battle for 5th continues to be a good one. Truex out front on lap 198. Josh Berry goes 2nd, Joey Logano and Kyle Larson, that's your top 4. Then Denny Hamlin battling for 5th with his teammate Christopher Bell. From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
You crave power, but your ride is holding you back. Feeling the burn of mediocrity instead of the thrill of domination. E3's cutting-edge tech, the same spark that fuels NASCAR champions, also delivers maximum fuel efficiency, so you spend less time at the pump and more time at the track. This is championship performance. This is E3 Spark Plugs. Don't just dream of speed. Make it your reality. Power, speed, endurance. E3. What are you running?
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Here, exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more.
It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
We are now officially 2 laps past halfway. Lap 202 is just going up on the scoreboard. 202 down, 198 remain. It continues to be Martin Truex Jr. Here's the margin of difference between Truex over Berry.
Again,
it's
we're
at
going to
1.4
in this
seconds.
stage.
Then Joey Logano, then Kyle Larson, then Denny Hamlin. Christopher Bell continues to stalk him, riding 6th. Chris Buescher 7th. William Byron 8th. Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick go 9-10.
Yeah, they do, but those drivers are having good nights. There are some drivers maybe not having such good nights going on tonight. Why don't we find out what some of these stories are as we've reached the halfway point in the Toyota Owners 400, starting with Steve Post.
Bubba Wallace having a really solid run here tonight. Still not quite 100% happy with the handle on that race car, but still they're running inside the top 10. Bubba Wallace had such a great start to the season. A 5th place run in the Daytona 500, 5th when they went to Atlanta, and then the wheels fell off the program. A 36th place run out in Las Vegas, and it didn't get much better. They got back from the race in Phoenix on the West Coast, and Bubba decided to call a team powwow and to get things sorted out. And what a move of leadership by a young racer. He called everyone in, he recommitted himself to this team, and he made sure that everybody on this team was committed to it. Y'all know in this sport, what happens is one thing goes bad, then 2 things go bad, then 3 things go bad, and it festers, and one person starts talking and another one does. Bubba did not want that to happen with his team. He really, really likes this group of guys, and they've responded. They didn't get the result in Bristol. Of course, that was a wild race, and didn't get really what they were looking for in COTA, but a lot of that was built to this part of the season. They knew this is a good racetrack for Toyota. Martinsville will be a good racetrack. Texas will be a good racetrack. Talladega will be a good racetrack. And Bubba wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page, locked and loaded. And I would say with this performance tonight, that team powwow about 2 weeks ago has really worked out. This team is hitting on all 8 cylinders here tonight in Richmond and trying to climb their way back toward the front of the field. That's a good story here tonight. Jason Toya, reigning champ Ryan Blaney. Boy, this has not been a good night for Blaney.
Yeah, he's trying to find 8 plus more cylinders out there to try to get that car a little bit faster. He had a great qualifying effort, started off 12th, but fell back through the field quickly. Most recently on the last restart, he has got bumped out of the groove and up towards the wall, lost several positions there, and just have not been able to recover. He has been battling a tight condition all night long in the wet tires and even the transition over to the Goodyear Racing Eagle slick tires too. It hasn't gotten much better. They've been making adjustments each time around. Right now, he's outside the top 30. He's looking to try to get something turned around a little bit better here. Hoping as the run goes on, it's going to get better, but unfortunately, it's not doing that. They definitely need to make their way back down the pit road at the end of this second stage.
Knocking it out of the park, as always, Steve Post and Jason Toy. Mike Bagley is watching it all from outside turn number 3. My name is Jeff Striegel. Alongside is Alex Hayden and NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. 2:10 down, 190 to go, 20 to go in stage number 2. Truex just literally out for a Sunday evening drive. The advantage, though, is stable at 1.3 seconds over Josh Berry. Joey Logano is 3rd, then Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. That's your top 5. Let's visit now with Mike Bagley, who has been watching it all. Mike, what are you seeing that maybe we have been missing over the last few minutes?
We've got it pretty much nailed down because it's all about Martin Truex Jr. right now and the smooth nature of his driving. But when Jason was giving the update on Ryan Blaney, I got looking at the race cars coming by me. Everybody is doing a good job of managing their brakes at night here at Richmond, especially
average
when a
speed
driver
is
is
up
hard
near
on
90
the brakes.
miles an hour.
The rotors start to glow cherry red, candy apple red. Everybody's brake calipers are not doing that. There's only one that is, and that's Ryan Blaney. He is awfully hard on the brakes coming into 3, and he is the only driver that has the right front brake lit up at this portion of the race.
So Rusty Wallace, when you use the brakes that hard, yeah, you got to use them on a short track. but is that excessive in your opinion?
Yeah, when you got them lit up that much, that's excessive. That means the car's not handling right. It's probably, you know, a lot of times if the car's loose getting at the corner, you're going to try to slow it down to keep that rear end underneath of you, and that's what causes the brakes to get hot. Now, if you drive the car in the corner too deep and start sliding the front end, and you're all over the brakes, so slow it down, that can cause them to get red also. But one thing I've been noticing, this is a fairly short run right now. We only had 58 laps since when the cars last pitted to get to end of stage 2. Plus, I think right now, Mike Bagley, you're going to have to tell me this one, but I got a feeling the track's cooling down quite a bit too, and I think that's probably helping with the brakes staying a little bit cooler.
Rusty, it is getting tremendously cooler out here. Obviously can't speak for track temperature, but ambient temperature, I would say that temperature's down maybe about 10, maybe even 15 degrees, steady wind, and it is a very, very chilly night. When we started off, it was obviously damp, almost kind of muggy out, but the temperature has definitely dropped here in about the last half hour.
Chilly night, but Martin Truex Jr. is red hot right now, leading on lap 216. He is just marching his way through the field. We are down now to 19 cars on the lead lap. Those that are a lap down as we close in on the end of the stage, now 13 laps away. Daniel Suarez most recently just went a lap down. Ty Dillon, Todd Gilliland, who had such a great start to this event, a lap down back in 22nd. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Austin Cindric, John Hunter Nemechek and Zane Smith, and this is in order. Zane Smith 26th. Ryan Blaney 27th, one lap down. Austin Dillon 28th. Carson Hocevar 29th, and Harrison Burton, Daniel Hemrick, Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece, Kaz Grala, and Corey LaJoie. Those drivers are all one lap down to a race leader.
Yeah, and they've got to come to pit road with everybody else. There's no way they're going to be able to stay out there when the caution comes out. If not before, definitely in another 11 laps. Now, Mike Bagley, things beginning to pick up between Joe Gibbs Racing teammates for the number 5 spot. Denny Hamlin has it. Christopher Bell wants it. They exit turn number 2.
Here they come to the back straightaway. Denny Hamlin and C. Bell just trying to give each other a hard time right now as far as racing for position. Bell is in a full court press trying to get by that Denny Hamlin car.
And hasn't he been, Mike, lap after lap after lap? Denny has held on to position number 5, and Christopher Bell has just been right there in his tire tracks.
C. Bell has really been throwing everything he's got at Denny Hamlin, and Denny's done a great job of managing his line, and right now managing that line in traffic as he tries to flash to the outside of Todd Gilliland.
Gilliland holding the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to force Hamlin to go outside. Denny will do just that for the moment. Gilliland will stay right there on his left rear quarter panel.
Now they shift to the high side of the racetrack. Again, they're trying to get by the Gilliland car, which Denny does in turn 2, but C. Bell does not have that luxury. Christopher Bell now is going to lose a couple of car lengths to Denny because he's yet to make the pass around the Gilliland car.
Why don't we jump all the way up to second right now, because Joey Logano is on the move. Josh Berry has second, but Joey Logano is closing in.
Either Josh Berry's car is giving up or Joey Logano's car is coming to life. Right now, they are separated by 3 car lengths on the racetrack. Both of them now will make the pass around Justin Haley.
Because they're all in some lap traffic. Martin Truex Jr., the race leader, has Corey LaJoie and Harrison Burton now behind him, but in front of that ongoing battle for the second spot.
Watching this Berry-Logano battle for the second position, well behind the race leader. It comes to the back straightaway, free of lap traffic, and now the 2 are separated by 4 car lengths.
6 laps to go in the stage. Let's go for a ride around this racetrack with Martin Truex Jr. He crosses his start-finish line right up against a safer barrier, arcs that car to the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 1.
Lets it breathe in the middle of the corner, and MTJ's done a great job of wrapping the yellow line at the bottom. Off the end of the back straightaway, he'll come wide up against the wall, dive it down to the bottom, and just pin that car right on that yellow line.
So very smooth for Martin Truex Jr. as he continues to show the way. Now 5 laps to go here in this stage. Jeff Truex, not only the race leader, he's the oldest guy in the field at 43 years old, and he's showing those young bucks what's going on.
Yeah, he does that well here, doesn't he, Alex? He's now led 1,400 plus laps. 1,400 plus laps here at Richmond, and that is more than any other track for that seasoned veteran champion of the NASCAR Cup Series. Truex right now out front on lap 226. We're getting down to the end of the stage. There are some drivers looking forward to that, Alex, because they want tires and they're going to get a chance to get them very shortly.
Yeah, they are, as we're going to be down to 3 laps to go here in
Three
the
to go in
stage.
stage
Truex
2.
flashes by the
This
start-finish
time
line. He's about to put Alex Bowman a lap down, who was in the top 5 earlier in the race.
Alex Bowman's been backing up over the course of this run, and he's trying everything he can to stay on the lead lap. He's going to give Truex a run for his money. Side by side, they race back to the corner.
This is to try to stay on the lead lap. Now, obviously, if we get the caution flag at the end of the stage, Bowman would get it back. But right now, he's going to fight to try to stay on the lead lap. Alex Bowman to the outside, Truex to the inside.
They still stay in that side-by-side formation. Truex
It's
gets the
slow,
advantage.
two to go on
Oh, but
stage.
Truex is going to slip on the bottom of turn 2. Bowman is hammered down on the outside, trying to stay out in front of the race leader.
He does not want to be the first car a lap down to get a free pass. He wants to finish the stage on the lead lap, fighting tooth and nail. Final lap, stage number 2 for the race leader, Martin Truex Jr.
Bowman digging deep, trying to stay on the lead lap. Truex digging just as hard, trying to pin him a lap down. Side by side, they mirror each other. Bowman not giving up here this time through.
Neither driver giving up.
Flag is going to be waving at the start-finish line. This is stage win number 1 in 2024 for Martin Truex Jr. As he comes across the line, Truex scores the stage 2 win over Josh Berry, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and Denny Hamlin. That is your top 5 across the start-finish line, and now we see the caution flag come out. Truex, Berry, Logano, Larson, and Hamlin.
NASCAR is going to review that, but Truex does get the stage win.
Chris Buescher was 7th. 8th goes to Bubba Wallace. 9th goes to William Byron. And 10th goes to Tyler Reddick.
That look at the top 10 and who scored points in this stage is presented by Sunoco. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Susan has always wanted to live in a chateau. I like a certain je ne sais quoi. While Jake is more into the Cape Cod style home.
It's a classic look.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Susan and Jake found a Cape Cod style home where they will only speak French.
Bonjour, je t'aime, merci beaucoup, and cordon bleu.
You'll get better with time. Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
From Richmond Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Give us a follow. The Motor Racing Network is on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. We've got links to all our podcasts, MRN Radio race broadcasts, and NASCAR news and information. Video podcasts on MRN's YouTube and Facebook. On X, use the hashtag AskMRN to connect with us and our award-winning race announcer. Give us a like, post a comment, share a podcast. Just search for MRN Radio. The Motor Racing Network on all your favorite social media outlets.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
We've invited NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series drivers and their crew chiefs to get this 70% rounded bolt off of this box.
Welcome back to Richmond Raceway, the Toyota Owners 400 under our 4th caution of the event. Stage 2 in the books, it was won by Martin Truex Jr. The Xfinity fastest lap so far has been run by Kyle Larson at 120.703 miles per hour. Xfinity keeps NASCAR fans in the zone with ultra-low lag and connection you can rely on. Stream NASCAR from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because you only live once. Learn more at Xfinity.com.
Well, the caution flag and the green and white checkered flag came out at the right time for Alex Bowman. He will get the free pass. He came to the line inches behind race leader Martin Truex Jr. That's what pinned Alex a lap down, and so therefore Alex will get the free pass, meaning that there are 19 drivers currently on the lead lap.
And pit road is
Pit
open
road
as we
is about to
see the
become a
green
very
light
busy place.
illuminated at the entrance to pit road midway between turns 3 and 4. And we fully anticipate every one of these drivers and teams to come on to pit road to put on their 5th set of Goodyear Racing Eagles in tonight's race. And indeed, Jason Toy, here they are.
Miles per hour, 40 miles per hour to make their way down the pit lane. Martin Truex Jr. is going to be the first to hit the mark perfectly. Hits that yellow line that is laid down there by the crew. Right side tire is complete. Right, left side tire is going on. Sunoco fuel going in. Martin Truex down and away. Lightning fast pit stop along with Brad Keselowski. Joey Logano's away. Also Ty Gibbs as well as Tyler Reddick. Steve Post.
Bubba Wallace is in for Tire Sunoco Racing Field. Pretty happy with his race car. We've documented the struggles of Denny Hamlin. No struggle anymore. That car is good. Martin Truex Jr. wins the battle off from pit road. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin goes out next. Joey Logano and I believe Christopher Bell might have gone out in the fit spot. But great pit work for Denny Hamlin and that crew. Hamlin really happy with the race car. As a matter of fact, Chris Gabehart cued the radio at the end of that stage and says, now we've got something, boys. So keep an eye on him. Larson was in for Tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. Josh Berry really happy with his race car. Said at one time he felt like he might have pushed it a little too hard and that freed him up, but he's happy as well. Pit stops, lap number 233 here, the end of stage number 2.
And that puts everybody now back on the same strategy, at least for the moment. And how about this? It's going to be Truex and Larson up front when we go back under the green flag. Martin off of pit road, position number 1. Larson right behind. Denny Hamlin up 2 spots on pit road. That crew got it done. Denny third, Joey Logano, then Christopher Bell, Josh Berry, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, and his teammate Chris Buescher. That's your top 10 off of pit road.
Hey racing fans, William Byron here, driver of the number 24 Liberty University Chevy. I'm excited to tell you that Liberty is giving away $74,000 in scholarships. Winners can choose from over 600 online programs of study and join me as a Liberty student. Get your future on track today. Learn more about Liberty University's $74,000 scholarship giveaway at liberty.edu/24. That's liberty.edu/24.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
162 laps remain. Next time by for Martin Truex Jr., who is the leader right now under the caution flag. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin. That is your top 3 from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Penn. You may know that Victory Junction provides fun, adaptive, and life-changing experiences for kids with all levels of abilities, serious illnesses, and chronic medical conditions. But did you know that camp is free for the children and families we serve? Your support helps every camper build a foundation to live their best life. Make your gift today at victoryjunction.org/donate and feel your heart race.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for scanners, headsets, and all race day communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan.
That'll take you
Hear
the wave
uncensored
around
communication from every team in the race with a scanner from Racing Electronics. Or tune into the MRN radio broadcast. To learn more, visit racingelectronics.com today.
Or very dumb call.
Be race ready, be RE equipped.
Thanks, Shannon. 238 laps complete. 162 to go.
on a damp, cool night
Want to
here.
go
We
this
get ready
side.
to go back under the green flag at the Richmond Raceway. When we put them under the green, 160 laps will remain. I say it's a damp, cool night tonight. What about next weekend, Alex Hayden? High
Next
85, blue sky,
Martinsville.
sunshine, Martinsville, Virginia.
Spring is in the air. That means Martinsville Speedway.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
President of the Martinsville Speedway is with us right now, Clay Campbell. We're going to talk to Clay about what we could expect next weekend. We'll do that here in just a few moments as we get set to go. Here again with 160 laps remaining. Alex Hayden, it's Truex and Larson ready to do battle.
And they go inside and outside of the front
Exclamation
row.
point
after they
restart in
chose
the
what
chat.
lane to
Here we
restart
go.
in. They hit the Geico restart zone. Through the gearbox they go. Here we race. Yet again at Richmond Raceway. They think 3 wide for the moment, but it looks like the inside lane will prevail.
Denny Hamlin is the one that wanted to test those 3 wide waters. He waved it off now as Truex will slide under Larson, grab the lead, and now Hamlin and Logano are wheel to wheel for third.
Denny on the inside, Joey on the outside. Joey trying to do it the hard way. Right behind him, Bubba Wallace and Christopher Bell. They too running side by side.
Truex is already gone by 4 car lengths and leaving everybody else to battle for real estate behind them. You've got Larson there in second. Hamlin and Logano side by side for third. And then you got Bell and Wallace leading on each other for fifth.
Yeah, that is close quarters racing
And
there for the
Logano
number
has
5 spot. Christopher
set
Bell
sail
on
on
the
his battle
inside
for
lane
third,
for the moment. Gets a
setting his
fender in
sights
front
on
of Bubba
Truex.
Wallace. Nearly hip checked him going into turn number 1.
Forces Wallace wide at corner entry, and it'll be C. Bell sliding through, grabbing the position. While in front of them, Hamlin and Logano will not let this battle for third go.
Lap after lap, Denny on the inside, Joey on the outside. Toyota against Ford, Camry versus Ford Mustang. Denny stays there, Joey Logano stays with him.
Ford and Toyota battling for the number 3 position. The Ford of Logano, the Toyota of Hamlin, and Denny slips just a tad coming off the corner. That'll give Logano the advantage off the end of the backstretch.
I'll tell you what, guys, that last restart we just had with Kyle Larson on the outside of Martin Truex getting into turn 1, I really thought that he was going to be able to get around him, but he just could not do it. It's like those air pressures are kind of low. They had to wait for those pressures to come up a little bit. Kyle Larson did, but right now they're all back up to speed and hustling to the front. But those two back there running third and fourth. I'm talking Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. They're just not giving up. They're outside, inside, beating back and forth, having a heck of a race back there, guys.
Yeah, they are, and they race side by side back to turn number 2.
Best battle on the racetrack right now. All eyes on Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, and they're leaning on each other coming to the back straightaway. They will not let this rest. Logano driving harder into the corner will get the advantage.
Best seat in the house for this ongoing display for position number 3 is Christopher Bell watching Joey and Denny go at it. Give the advantage to Joey Logano, at least for now.
Hamlin's going to give up the ghost in that battle off the end of the front stretch, because the harder he runs that car now, the less car he'll have later. Put Logano in third. You got Hamlin in fourth, and Bell right there on the scene in fifth.
He is. Took a peek to the outside of Denny Hamlin, thinks better of it, and will fall back in line. We've got 153 laps to go here in the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond Raceway, and then all eyes will move to the Martinsville Speedway. Clay Campbell's joining us here in the broadcast booth. Clay,
Hamlin giving up the
first of
ghost
all,
in that
how
battle
are you,
for
sir?
third.
And secondly, we
Logano
can't wait
gets
to get to your
position there.
racetrack.
Well, I can't wait to have you there next week, but doing fine. You know, what a race we're seeing here today with the strategy that's playing out. And, you know, thanks to all the fans for coming out on an Easter Sunday and, you know, with the weather challenges that we had. And they're here to see a great race. So thanks to NASCAR and Goodyear for the wet weather tire. Think about that. Had we been drying the track for time after time after time, now we're racing. So, yeah, it's turning out really good.
We figured we got about 70 laps in, and we would have been drying the track, roughly, give or take. You know, we put 70 laps on, and that is a credit to NASCAR, everybody, yourself, everybody included with NASCAR, and your work you do with Goodyear. And we fast forward now to a week from now. What have you got planned? What's going to be special about Martinsville Speedway in the spring?
Well, it's going to be a great weekend. Think about it, 2 great weekends of NASCAR racing in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So we move to Martinsville next week. Friday night, the Long John Silver's 200 for the Craftsman Truck Series. Always a really, really good show. Then we move into Saturday with the Dude Wipes 250 for the Xfinity Series. And then obviously Sunday, the Cookout 400 for the Cup Series. So 3 great days of racing. We look forward to it. Always great racing at Martinsville, and you know, from what we're seeing here tonight, I really look forward to seeing them next week at Martinsville.
If you've never been to Martinsville Speedway, folks, get there. There is not a bad seat in the house. I know that sometimes becomes cliche to say at sporting events, but it's true. At Martinsville Speedway, it doesn't matter where you sit, you can see the whole racetrack. But things get a little bit better. If you want to be a part of the skybox, there's seating on top of the skybox now in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. The Sky Deck, we debuted that a couple of years ago, and it was a deal where you stand the entire race. So, you know, that's a long time to stand. You guys stand the whole time, but that's your job. Our fans expect to sit down, so we do have chairs up there now on the Sky Deck. I think that's really going to go over well with the fans. So that there's really not a better view in all of racing than up there on the Sky Deck. Down in between turns 1 and 2, you see the whole race. If you miss something, your eyes were closed.
Clay, I want to go back to what we just witnessed tonight, which I thought was pretty historical, starting a race on a track that was wet with rain tires on a short track. I mean, for a promoter like you've been your whole life up there, Martinsville, you got to really be loving this idea that, I mean, I've been with you guys a ton where we've sat through rain and trying to drive that track. To know, as a racetrack operator, you can have your fans sit there in the grandstands, and if the track's wet, they can start with rain tires and put on one whale of a race. Now, this is 2 times in a row. We saw this in North Wilkesboro last year, and now we saw it again here tonight. I tell you what, I think your style of racetrack fits that mold just perfect for those tires working great if you have to do that.
Couldn't agree with you more, Rusty. And the good thing about it, it's all for the fans. I mean, NASCAR worked really hard at this. Goodyear worked hard to make a tire that worked, and we've seen it a couple of times. But think about this:
400
we don't have to spend so much time drying. I mean, tonight we were, you know, an hour away from starting, and I thought, oh, this is going to go on for a while. And within 20 minutes, they're saying, you know, we're going to give the 5-minute, you know, for the drivers to get to the car. That's pretty good. And the second thing about Martinsville and here, when the sun goes down, we're not out of business. We got lights. So between wet weather tires and lights, there's really no restriction on how long we can go. And that's, again, that's for the fans. They come, they pay for a race, and they get to see one.
I was on the phone with our executive producer, Ryan Horn, after you two were talking about the Sky Deck, trying to make the move for the broadcast booth over to that position, Alex. I mean, like you said, and we've seen pictures of it, can't wait to see it in person. That is absolutely the place to be to watch the race, and that will be Martinsville next weekend.
Can't wait. I know there's a handful of tickets. They are going fast as things are looking good. It's spring in Martinsville. People want to be there, but tickets available, and how can folks get some?
Absolutely, Alex. Give us a call at 877-RACE-TIX, RACETIX, or go online at martinsvillespeedway.com.
Right, we appreciate you, Clay. Thank you for everything you do in the sport. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, guys.
Clay Campbell, president, Martinsville Speedway. We will be there with NASCAR next week. A big triple header there. The Trucks, Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series. Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead. There's been no change. Truex, Larson, Logano, Hamlin, and his teammate Christopher Bell. That is your top 5.
Next Sunday.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
She is the track too tough to take.
The lady in black. She's got a thing for tradition, a hankering for history, and she sure likes a good challenge. Well, when Throwback Weekend comes to town, she'll get exactly what she wants and play extra hard to get.
These guys are going to have their hands full.
Shall we dance? The official Throwback Weekend of NASCAR, May 10th through the 12th. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Advantage for Martin over Kyle for the lead, just 5 car lengths. Truex over Larson. Then it's 15 back to Joey Logano. That's where the good racing is. Logano, Hamlin, and Christopher Bell. As a matter of fact, Bell's trying to take 4th away from Denny right now. We'll get you back to the track when we come back from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Calling all nonprofit organizations. The NASCAR Day Give-A-thon is back for 2024. What's that, you ask? It's a national campaign to help nonprofit organizations raise funds to support their local missions. By signing up for the Give-A-thon, you gain access to a national marketing campaign to build visibility and donations for your nonprofit at no cost to you. And as a bonus, special incentives and prizes will be announced along the way to help you maximize your efforts. Visit NASCARDayGiveathon.org to sign up today.
Keep up with all of the action during the 2024 NASCAR season with NASCAR Today.
William Byron has won the Daytona 500.
Every weekday throughout the season, we'll bring you the latest news and insights.
At that point, I really had in my mind, okay, we can really win this.
As we count down the days to championship weekend in Phoenix.
It's surreal still. I can't believe I'm in this position.
I'm Chase Elliott. Listen to NASCAR Today every weekday right here on the Motor Racing Network.
We are down to 133 laps remaining. 267 have been completed. It's been a battle between two drivers, and they're up front at the moment. Kyle Larson has led a total of 144 laps. Martin Truex Jr. has led now 114. Alex rolls reversed at the moment.
Distance between Truex and Larson.
What you're saying
7/10
is those have
of a
been the
second.
two dominant race cars today. And with Martin Truex Jr. leading right now at 114 counting laps, he has now led here at Richmond Raceway over 1,400 laps at this racetrack. It really is phenomenal.
But there is one thing to keep in mind about his domination, and certainly domination here tonight. Truex has won only 2 out of 8 races where he has led 100+ laps, and he's led now 115 laps. Let's get an observation from Mike Bagley, who has been watching it all. Truex now beginning to pull away from Kyle. Kyle pulling away a bit from Joey Logano, who's got some separation now on Christopher Bell, who just recently came to 4th.
Been pretty impressive watching Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson do their thing at the front of this field tonight.
It's been a battle between those two all night
control
long.
of the race. They've not gotten crazy with it. They've not gotten, 18, 20 seconds out in front, except for when cycling through green flag pit stops, obviously. But they've been able to manage the race, manage the tires, manage the gap, and they've done it very smoothly. Others have been a little more aggressive in the way they've been getting around cars, like Christopher Bell. He's finally gotten around Denny Hamlin, using up a lot of his car, maybe putting that car in an aggressive and a precarious position. But not Truex, not Larson. Smooth as a knife through butter for those two drivers all night long, and their lines have not wavered hardly at all.
No, and how about the guy running third? And that's Joey Logano, who has just had a disastrous start to the 2024 season. And it's disastrous because this is Joey Logano, the guy we're used to talking about running at the front of the field and leading laps and winning races and contending for championships.
To the season for Joey
I think
Logano.
the start of this season, if anything, they're going to look at this as a character check for what they've had to go through.
Yeah, definitely, and they continue to try to get better and better here. And talked to Paul Wolf a little bit this afternoon, and they just try. The biggest thing is stay the course, and the old adage of control what you can control, and that's what they've done here this afternoon and this evening as we roll on more and more.
You do one stop or two.
Cool down. The car's been pretty stable for Joey here as they start to formulate what they're going to do on that final stop. But listening to communication between Joey and Coleman Presley, his spotter, a lot of it right now is just maintaining, saving the tires of what they got. They know that Christopher Bell is making up ground on them, but they don't want to burn the tires down right now, especially if they want to try to extend this out a little more before they have to make that final stop. But they've been very happy with the way that race car has been handling all evening long.
In the 6 races leading up to tonight, Joey has more 30th or worst place finishes than he does top 10s. He's only got 1 top 10 finish, Mike Bagley. That came at Las Vegas. Right now he is running 3rd, but he's got his hands full now.
Earlier in the week, Joey said that this was the worst start to a NASCAR Cup Series season in his entire career, and the team was starting to get frustrated, starting to get kind of not petrified, but they were just disturbed. They've never been in this territory before. But whatever they've done tonight, it is paying dividends mightily. He has been a consistent presence in the top 10, now in the top 5. But the question is he going to be able to keep third? Because once Christopher Bell has gotten by Denny Hamlin, Bell has arrived on the back bumper of Logano, while Joey continues to paddle hard to get to the back bumper of Larson.
Last time Joey Logano won in the NASCAR Cup Series was in Atlanta in March of last year.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, he's run more laps inside the top 5 in this race since that race. And he went on to win that race at Atlanta in March of last season. So Rusty Wallace, Joey Logano, Paul Wolfe, Team Penske, getting things, at least here at Richmond, pointed in the right direction.
Well, right now he's running perfect. And look, remember these teams, these big teams like Team Penske and Logano being a champ, man, there's a lot of ups and downs in the sport. I've been in that situation where I've won so many races, and then the next year everything falls apart for a little bit, and then you get your mojo back and you get going again. It just happens. You just get in the ditch. Look, all I can tell you is about Logano, he's running great tonight. He's a champion. He's got a great team. And every team has ups and downs, and so I don't prejudge him by anything at all, by what might have happened early, you know. And he's back where he needs to be right now, where he normally is.
And that is running third, although Christopher Bell is right there. We're down to 120 to go. When might we expect pit stops, and will there be strategy that will play out? The man that can answer that question for us is Steve Post. 120 to go. Postman, what do you think?
There's a lot of activity on pit road and a lot of talk about tell me about your race car as splitting it in thirds would be at lap 293. So we're about 13 laps from then, and I think we're going to see a fair number of drivers in to do that. If they decide to split it in half, it'd go to lap 320, about an 80-lap run, but there is a lot of activity. Chase Elliott's crew is on the wall down here, just waiting for the call. Josh Berry's crew. I think we're going to see pit stops here, at least for part of the field, in the next 8 to 10 laps.
Looks like there's a bunch of crews suited up, ready to go. I think we're now in that game of chicken between the crew chiefs, Rusty. Which crew chief's going to have the guts to pull their driver off the track first?
Yeah, what is the right decision, too? Because we saw earlier in the day, I mean, these guys getting ready to do it in thirds, and I was the one saying I don't know why they're doing that. That was just my opinion. I mean, and Postman's exactly right. I mean, they can cut it in thirds and pit here pretty soon, or else they can go to like 320, 317 I got written down here, and make it halfway and go that way. There's a couple ways to do this. Now, what made it work for those guys last time, the caution flag come out and saved a lot of them that were going to get themselves in trouble by pitting too early. But we'll see what happens.
We continue to race under the green flag. Mike Bagley, second, third, and fourth together on the backstretch.
Here they come up the back straightaway. Christopher Bell has found his way to the outside of Joey Logano. He'll complete the pass. Bell, and now traffic in the form of Kaz Grala right now in front of this battle.
With Kyle Larson just now getting by the Kaz Grala car. Larson is second. Christopher Bell and Logano think about 3 wide with Grala's lap car.
Oh, 3 wide, that's not going to work.
Through the block. That'll leave Bell and Logano side by side. Larson gets away, and now Grala's going to slide over in front of Logano in 3.
Hard racing, that is for sure. How about 3 wide? Kaz Grala in the middle. Downstairs, Joey Logano. Top side, C. Bell. That battle continues. Position number 3 up for grabs.
And it's side by side. Grala now in their rearview mirror. Denny Hamlin will have to deal with him, but right now it's Bell and Logano. Side by side for third. Logano on the bottom of the racetrack.
First driver to peel off the racetrack under green flag to come to pit road is Brad Keselowski.
Brad Keselowski first to act.
Stage number 2. Left side tires on. No changes for Brad Keselowski. Very happy with the way the race car is running with Sunoco fuel. Post.
Chase Briscoe brings his car into the attention of the crew. It's going to be 4-tire Sunoco racing fuel. They started off so good in the wet track conditions, never really able to get the handle on the race car. Jason, I see William Byron in front of you.
Making his way down. Also, Martin Truex Jr. giving up the lead to come to pit road. Slides into the box. Right side tires on. Tear off the windshield. First can of Sunoco fuel is in. Chassis wrench, not even being seen. Happy with the race car. He's going to stick with it. He's going to drop it, get down the way as he lets up a little bit for Ty Gibbs to make a pit stop.
There is Kyle Larson in the very first pit box. Going to be 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel, minor air pressure adjustment. Denny Hamlin wraps up his pit service. Josh Berry in the Sonny D Ford. He is in for 4 tires and fuel. Bubba Wallace brings his car in. Alex Bowman. We are splitting this thing in thirds with all of these pit stops. 4 cars in front of you, Jason.
Joey Logano just wrapped up his pit stop. He's very happy with the race car, continuing to try to work on that track position for them. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel.
Green flag pit stops taking place right here, Jeff.
Ross Chastain is in. Not everybody has come in yet. Who has not? Christopher Bell being shown as the race leader. He has yet to come to pit road. It's going to take a minute or 2 to cycle around. Austin Dillon has not come to pit road. Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, they too stay on the racetrack. I guess that's one way to get your lap back.
110 to go.
You just have to do everything in your power. Play the strategy game. Although now as it cycles around, how about this? Christopher Bell, and he stayed out, has pinned everybody 1 lap down. Everybody is a lap down to Christopher Bell.
When was the last time we saw that at a NASCAR Cup Series race?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure we've ever seen that before.
Yeah, Christopher Bell by himself on the lead lap, but running much slower than everybody else. Bell trying to do just that, stretch this thing just a little bit more. Now you got to wonder, what is the thinking for that race team and crew chief Adam Stevens now that they've got themselves on their own lap and everybody else running much faster? Steve Post, what are they going to do here strategy-wise?
Well, absolutely. They just brought out the pit sign. As a matter of fact, now they were sitting on the wall, but now the crew jumps up on the wall. Adam Stevens is getting ready to pull the trigger on a pit stop. It looks like Christopher Bell. I thought for a while it sounded on the radio like they were going to split it in half, but I think their computer, their numbers, and reading the lap times of everybody else, they put Christopher Bell on the racetrack, and now the crew is just waiting for him to make his way to the entrance of pit road here in the next lap or 2.
Well, I think he tried last lap, Steve. The problem was he was outside, on the outside of the racetrack, and they were freight trading him on the inside. Hamlin and Larson and others, and now he is indeed off the pace. He'll come to pit road. It's 40 miles an hour while everybody else flashes by. Christopher Bell, Mobil 1, Toyota Camry, headed to pit road on lap 294.
Yes, indeed. Here comes
on the pit lane on 294. 106 to go.
One of the column cars is down here in the middle of pit road. Making his way around. Here is Christopher Bell. Actually, that was Austin Cindric. Bell getting right side tires on that Toyota Camry XSE. Wheelman steps away around to the left side. Man, this looks like a good pit stop. A quick one for Christopher Bell. Down and away.
Let's see how that cycles out now for Christopher Bell. Martin Truex Jr. is right in front of Kyle Larson for 2nd and 3rd. As this cycles around, let's step away and pause. 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Richmond Raceway, the NASCAR Cup Series, racing the Toyota Owners 400. NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Striegel, NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace, Jeff Striegel and myself, Alex Hayden, atop the start-finish line. Mike Bagley's on the backstretch. Steve Post and Jason Toy are on the pit lane.
I thought you knew something that I didn't, but thank you for that. By the way, big news. Busted too fast on pit road when he exited the pit stop. Christopher Bell.
Oh, Christopher Bell speeding on pit lane.
Pass through here shortly. Truex
speeding
back
on pit
out front,
lane for Christopher
but only by
Bell.
2 over Kyle Larson. Denny Hamlin is 3rd. Logano goes 4th. Bubba Wallace is 5th. The rest of the top 10 with 102 remaining. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Elliott. That is your top 10.
Oh, I cracked the hull of my new ski boat today. Oh my gosh, why'd you do that? It's not like I was trying to do it, you know. Sorry, that's rough, my bad, bro. Did anyone witness this epic fail? Yes, there's videos galore, and now I'm a meme.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
The 2004 NASCAR Cup Series championship was won in dramatic fashion.
Well, they changed right side tires only. The entire wheel came off.
But what happened throughout the year is what makes it one of NASCAR's biggest seasons. Here are all the stories on NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History. This week on Chasing History.
And I told everybody to listen, look, Carl Edwards is the guy that should be in this car.
Get the latest episode of NASCAR Live Presents 2004 Chasing History at MRN.com or on your favorite podcast platform.
Advocated for Carl Edwards.
Down, 1/4 remains. That means 300 laps have been completed. We have 100
no
to go until we see the
NASCAR.
black and white checkered flag. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Logano, and Wallace, top 5. And oh, by the way, 1-2 running nose to tail. Martin over Kyle. We'll get you back to the track in a moment from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR Street Race Weekend, presented by Xfinity, is coming back to Chicago.
I still have no clue
with the Black Keys and Chainsmokers on Saturday,
how this is going to go.
and Keith Urban on Sunday. Plus, NASCAR's brightest stars lighting up the streets.
NASCAR is racing in the streets of Chicago.
The Chicago Street Race Weekend, July 6th and 7th. For tickets and experiences, visit NASCARChicago.com.
NASCAR history. What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts. 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
What is it going to take to win here tonight? Can Truex hold off Larson, dominate the event, and go on to victory lane? Does Larson have anything left in the tank? What about Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano? Bubba Wallace has had a solid run tonight. William Byron finally climbing the leaderboard up to 6th. Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher, the teammates, have been running in the top 10 all night long. And Chase Elliott and Josh Berry, 9-10. They've had good cars. Let's find out what it takes to go to victory lane, presented by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. The keys to winning tonight, presented by Progressive Insurance.
We had them from 2 current drivers on the racetrack. Denny Hamlin, currently running in position number 3, said, you have to have a good pit crew, you have to have a good race car, you got to have a good strategy from your crew chief. That's one of the biggest things you do. He said this is one of those tracks you have to have the complete team package to have success. The other key came from the driver running in position number 7 currently. That's Brad Keselowski. He said you have to have good control on the race car. You have to know when to push and when to save your tires and be patient out there. And that has been something we've been watching for the first 308 laps.
And Mike Bagley, I believe we have saved the very best for last. We're down to 91 laps to go. The top 4 are running right together, nose to tail, on the track. It's Truex, Larson, Hamlin, and Joey Logano.
And lap traffic double wide directly ahead. Truex will be the first to arrive on the scene to deal with the lap traffic, but the top 4 are basically nose to tail as all of them try to find their way through the traffic in front of them.
Here they come up off of turn number 4. Daniel Suarez will be the first in front of Truex. Truex may have nudged Suarez just a bit. He'll drive on by and leave the opening wide open for Kyle Larson.
And that allows Larson to catch up to Truex just a tad, at least at corner entry, but Larson gets held up around the lap traffic for just a moment. That'll allow Truex to pull away by a total of 2 car lengths.
89 to go, 18 on the lead lap. The last one on the lead lap is Chase Briscoe. They come flashing by the line. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Joey Logano.
They're all huddled up at the bottom of the racetrack. Again, they're putting more lap traffic behind them. Talk about Daniel Suarez going a lap in arrears. Denny Hamlin will make the pass. Now Logano will slide to the inside of Suarez in 3.
And all 4 of those drivers will ride again in each other's tire tracks off turn number 4. Next driver sitting right in front of them. They still have another 7 or 8 car lengths before they catch them on the backstretch.
And that will be Chase Briscoe. He runs the bottom lane coming out of 2 and onto the back straightaway. Martin Truex Jr. now
about
angles
6
up
tenths
behind him,
Martin
but not
Truex
about
Jr.
to put him a lap down. Still got some real estate to make up to do it.
Let's remind everybody, Alex, who is a lap down. There's some big name drivers that have had a
lots of guys
here tonight.
A lap down.
Most notably Ryan Blaney. But Alex, he's not alone. Those drivers running at least a lap down.
Yeah, Daniel Suarez is a lap down. Kyle Busch has had a difficult race here at Richmond tonight. He's been inside the top 20 for the better part of the evening, but he's not had a good handling race car. He's currently a lap down. He's back there with his RCR teammate Austin Dillon, Carson Hocevar, Michael McDowell, Todd Gilliland, Ryan Blaney, Cindric, Priest. Yeah, the bottom line is some have a good handle on the track, Jeff, and some don't.
So let's give you a look at those 18 that currently run on the lead lap. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Logano, you know that. They go 1 through 4 and nose to tail. Bubba Wallace right now 5th and by himself. William Byron 6th. Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher running 7 and 8 and right together on the racetrack. Chase Elliott and Josh Berry running right together. They go 9-10.
Running in 11th is Tyler Reddick. 12th is Ty Gibbs. Noah Gragson is 13th. 14th is Eric Jones, and 15th is Ross Chastain. 16th is Christopher Bell after having to do a pass-through penalty for the speeding that he did on his green flag pit stop. He's still on the lead lap in 16th. Alex Bowman 17th. Last car being shown on the lead lap, and that may not last very long, is Chase Briscoe.
Rocketing down the back straightaway goes Martin Truex Jr. 2 car lengths back. Kyle Larson 1 back. Denny Hamlin 1 more back to Joey Logano. It's a Toyota, a Chevy, a Toyota, and a Ford. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Logano. They're in turn 2.
Here they come now onto the back straightaway, watching everybody just trying to sort themselves out in front of these race leaders. They are 3 wide with Zane Smith, Ryan Preece, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Leaders starting to bear down on them.
Yeah, they are, as they're going to have to figure out which lane they're going to need to advance to get away from the competition. They're trying to run smooth lines to save the tires, Mike. They may not be able to do that.
Well, they're also running for their life right now to try to stay in front of these leaders as they come onto the back straightaway. That 3 wide battle has scaled down just a tad. Oh, Zane Smith comes to pit road, locks up the brakes, just about slides up in front of these leaders. He'll regain control, but angle the car to pit road.
That was a big moment right there. You're right, Mike. That happened right in front of Martin Truex Jr. as he was right on the bottom of the racetrack, and Zane locking that car down. Cars getting ready to go a lap down include other big names, Mike. Briscoe, Chase Briscoe, trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. Alex Bowman is back there. C. Bell is back there due to that speeding penalty. You've also got Ross Chastain. Now, Ross is fine at the moment, but those are the cars, Mike, running at the tail end of the lead lap.
Yeah, they've got some ground that they can play with while Truex and company continue to deal with some of these other lap cars. For instance, we talk about Chase Briscoe trying to find his spot in front of the race leader. Well, he's had it for a while. He's been able to hang on to it, but not as much room to call his own because Briscoe only has about a car length and a half, maybe 2. He's been able to keep Truex behind him, and that's what he's hoping to do, but Truex is starting to turn the wick up on the back bumper of that High Point Ford Dark Horse Mustang.
Well, Mike, I've been sitting here calculating again. You know, they decided to break this thing up into thirds, and with that, we know what they're doing now. So it looks like to me the next stop is going to be around lap 340, about 18 more laps to go. Yeah, about 18 more laps to go, and then after that, they got enough fuel and tires to make it to the end.
That'll be something, again, who's going to be the first, if we stay under the green flag, to come off the racetrack. Brad Keselowski has been the one to do it the last couple of times with his crew chief, Matt McCall. And this is gambling time, Steve Post, for these crew chiefs down here. And crew chiefs love these types of races because they get to affect the way this one goes.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely do. They are all geeked up all week long. They've been looking at numbers and stats and grids and graphs, and then we get to the race, and they show up with a fast race car, a bad race car, and everything goes out the window. This is a crew chief's dream here right now. It is interesting that we're in this final stage, and every one of them has opted to go with the split the final stage in third. So that is interesting. So now this one is going to go more traditional. Caution comes out. Of course, that'll bring everyone in. We'll get to that lap that Rusty said, about 340, and then it becomes my crew chief, my driver, my pit crew versus your crew chief, your driver, your pit crew. Fastest man wins the race off from pit rows and gives himself track position. So this has had everything in it, and this is a race that crew chiefs absolutely love to have every part of the team come into play, and that's what we've had and we will continue to have here tonight.
Now stay tuned. It's not over, not by a long shot. 75 laps
75
remain.
to go. We're at 325.
How big would it
complete.
be for Truex to go to victory lane? The reason we say that, it's been obviously not quite a year. Last win back in July of last year at New Hampshire. He's had a quietly very good season. We'll talk more about Martin as we wind this thing down. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Logano, Bubba Wallace, top 5.
Feel like you're in the driver's seat and never miss a second of the race action with Racing Electronics. Racing Electronics scanners allow you to listen in on uncensored audio from your favorite drivers, spotters, and crews the entire race. Hear team strategy with critical passes, dangerously close calls, and all the pit stop drama. To learn more, visit them at racingelectronics.com. Be race ready. Be RE equipped.
NASCAR fans, the time is now to turn your love of racing into free tickets, merchandise, VIP experiences, and much, much more. Rack up fan rewards points by watching races at home, playing fantasy, completing challenges, and visiting tracks. Then redeem your points for epic prizes. You are in the driver's seat. What are you waiting for? Sign up for the free NASCAR Fan Rewards loyalty program today at NASCAR.com/fan rewards.
Winding this thing down in a hurry. 70 to go. Next time by for Martin Truex Jr. He's out front, but he's not out front by very much. Just 3 car lengths separate Martin back to Kyle Larson, 5 more back to Denny Hamlin, another 5 back to Joey Logano. That is your top 4 at the moment from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Welcome to Martinsville. Martinsville isn't your average everyday racetrack. It's truly one of a kind. The speed, the shape, the history, the hospitality, heck, even the hot dogs. A one-of-a-kind weekend at the short track of NASCAR with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and Cup Series on Sunday. It's one event too amazing to miss. NASCAR weekend at Martinsville Speedway, April 5th through the 7th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
This is Steve Post. If you love sprint cars, you'll love Wing Nation. All the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. Join Ashley Strumming, Aaron Evernham, and me every Tuesday on Motor Racing Networks and Wing Nation's Facebook pages. We go live with the weekend's winners and newsmakers from around the country. You can also find the podcast of all past shows on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcast providers. Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
We are. Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Logano, Wallace, top 5. Then it's Byron, Keselowski, Buescher, Chase Elliott, Josh Berry. Alex Bowman mired back in 16th.
We're down to 66 laps to go. Could we see pit stops here in another lap or 2 or 3? We call it the money stop, and Steve Post, it's for good reason. When you've been out front running, for example, like Martin Truex Jr. for 174 laps, you can't afford to make a mistake now.
Yeah, just don't speed. Do not speed.
Chase Elliott's crew is up on the pit wall, and so we're getting ready for pit stops. In fact,
William Byron is in.
Looks like you got at least 1 in front of you.
Got 2 of the RFK Racing team, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, 4 tires.
Got a multitude of cars on pit lane with 66 laps to go.
Was the first to start peeling off of the lead lap drivers back at lap 332 as the leader It's Martin Truex Jr. Gets it down to 40 miles per hour. That is 9 red. That is on the tack there. They can see. No speedometer, so they have to go off the RPM deal. So now they come in with Martin Truex Jr. Pull the tear up off the windshield. No adjustments again on this Toyota Camry. Second can of Sunoco fuel is in. They're good to go the rest of the way on that. Goodyear Racing Eagles are on as leaders are making away in front of Steve Post.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy Camaro in red, white, and blue. Henrik Carr's car. Let's see how the stop is. They're around to the left side of that automobile. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. down pit road. Larson grabs a gear. They're racing up from pit road, and it looks like Larson might have got out just ahead of Martin Truex Jr. as they raced their way. There goes Josh Berry. Denny Hamlin was in for pit service. Alex Bowman getting pit service. Ross Chastain and more in front of you, Jason.
These are the money stops right here.
Down and away. Little trouble getting out. One of the crewmen, the Jackman, fell down, bounced back up. He seems to be okay. But pit work on this in the pit road pretty much closed up here at the back end, waiting for Joey Logano.
We are indeed, as Denny Hamlin stays on the racetrack. Logano has made his pit stop already, by the way. He pitted with Larson and Truex. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, they're the drivers. Oh, good race all the way down to the grass here in the front side. Truex dives to the bottom on Larson.
Larson's trying to hang on to the spot. Truex is trying to force the issue.
Truex forcing things.
Out of 2. Here's Larson back to the outside, but he's got to yield. Truex will grab the lead in a bold move off the end of the straightaway.
Bold
this
move by
right
Truex.
Now, not yet for the lead, but it may be for the win overall.
This could be for the win.
Advantage is going to go to Martin
Advantage
Truex. He was not going to be denied. He came off of pit road behind Kyle Larson and then out-raced him off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. And Alex Hayden Truex is driving like this is his race to lose, but yet you've got different strategies with Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell.
Hamlin now right in front of Larson, or rather of Truex and Mike. Truex about to make short work of it.
Here he comes out of 2. Truex opens up the inside line, flashes by, completes the pass before they even reach the end of the backstretch.
Currently only 2 cars on the lead lap because Bell and Hamlin have yet to come to pit road. Hamlin race leader, Bell goes second, then goes Truex, then Larson, then Logano, Bubba Wallace. Now that Mike will all cycle around when Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell elect to come to pit road.
We stay under the green flag, continuing to race. 58 laps to go. Denny Hamlin up front. He's got a 12-second lead on Christopher Bell and then a 22-second lead on Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson. Now Joey Logano up next to try to unlap himself from race leader Denny Hamlin. Strategy playing out. I'm a little surprised Hamlin and his team are staying on the track.
Let's see what the postman knows. Steve is covering both Denny and Christopher Bell. They stay on the racetrack for now, Steve. Any sign as to when they'll give it up and come to
go?
No, not at all. Actually see some movement in Christopher Bell's pit, but the signboard is not out. I know Denny Hamlin has been very happy with his long run speed, and so while he's certainly not compatible to those drivers with the new tires on, he's been really comfortable with long run speed, and Chris Gabehart making the call to leave him out. A few more laps here, and we'll see how they fare. There's nobody on the pit wall. As a matter of fact, now Denny Hamlin has just made the left-hand turn. Here he comes.
Hamlin's in pit lane with 56 to go.
Chris Gabehart calling him in here.
Christopher Bell to the lead.
4 tires Sunoco Racing fuel. Hamlin pretty happy with that race car. Lap number 345, 55 laps from the end. Looked like a good right side. Now they work on the left side. Denny Hamlin gassed up and good to go. That should be, unless we have a caution, the final stop for the night for Denny Hamlin.
Now we'll see how Denny Hamlin shakes out as he exits the pit lane. Careful not to speed there. Christopher Bell is second. Now Bell goes to the race lead as he has not come to pit road as of yet. He's on a completely different cycle as Bell after having the pit road speeding penalty. So we'll see what Christopher Bell elects to do here. They're going to have to try something totally different, Jeff, now with 54 laps to go.
Well, trying something different means he's going to just wait a lap or 2 or 5 longer than everybody else, and now he does come to pit road. He'll do that on lap 346, so that will turn the lead over to Martin Truex Jr., followed by Larson and Logano. Seabell is on pit road in front of the postman.
Boy, that last pit stop was an awful good one, and then unfortunately for Christopher
We'll cycle the lead back to Truex.
Speeding off from pit road to see if this crew can bust out another one. Right side work is done, man. That looks good on the right side. Left side is done now, and left side is being done. Fuel is in the car. Another good pit stop. They've warned Christopher. Make sure you do not get caught speeding off from pit road. His pit service is done here on lap number 348.
That means there's 52 laps to go as Christopher Bell blends back up on the racetrack. Martin Truex Jr. back now at the front of the field. Kyle Larson is 1 full second behind him in position number 2. Then it's Joey Logano 3rd. Bubba Wallace is 4th, and William Byron rounds out the top 5.
Rest of the top 10, Brad Keselowski with a very quiet, very good run here tonight. Brad 6th, Chase Elliott is 7th, Chris Buescher is 8th, Denny Hamlin back to 9th, but he's the fastest car on the racetrack at the moment, 11 seconds behind his teammate who leads. And Tyler Reddick is 10th. Only a handful of cars remain on the lead lap after that. 11th, Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs on the lead lap, 12th. Noah Gragson, 13th, Eric Jones, Ross Chastain, 15 cars on the lead lap. Seabell 1 lap down in 16th, trying to get his lap back.
I tell you, Martin Truex Jr., he really just showed me what he's got for strength. I mean, we saw him when we saw Kyle Larson pull out of the pit side by side, bumper to bumper as they left. And now you see Truex just drove away from him. Over a second lead right now. That's about a 15 or 20 car length lead. So if I sit back right now and give a quick snapshot of who's looking really, really strong with no pit stops getting ready to happen unless we have a caution flag or something. But I tell you, Truex looks like the guy to beat right now. He's got such a decent lead, and Larson, I thought maybe he could run with it, but not in this last run.
When you take a look at his body of work so far in 2024, Alex, we know it's been good. It just hasn't been great. The only thing missing is the win. Runner-up at Bristol, a couple of 7th place runs, one at Vegas, one at Phoenix.
Truex,
he was
6th
10th
career
a week ago.
short track
How
victories.
big, knowing that the last win came at New Hampshire back in July,
47
be
laps
for
to go.
this team?
It's hard to put that into words and a perspective. It's huge. And to add to that, he had not won a stage this year either. Even though he was the championship series point leader, he got his first stage win of the year here in this race in stage number 2. About the time they really turned things on just before the end of that stage, and they have been the car to beat. But to get the win here, should they get the win here, we're still 46 laps away from the checkered flag, and anything can happen. But Martin Truex Jr. is driving a great race right now. The team has given him the car that he needs, and he's beginning to drive away from the field with these 45 laps still to go.
We got a battle for second shaping up. Kyle Larson has been run down. He's losing touch with the race leader. Joey Logano is right there.
Joey Logano is
Logano
trying
looking
to
to win
close in
in
on
his
the back bumper and
550th
make the pass. He's
career
only
start.
about a car length, maybe a car length and a half behind. But in this stage of the race, the Kyle Larson car not as potent as it was early on.
Well, but no, it's not. But I think it's a matter of the fact that Martin Truex Jr.'s car is that much better. Logano and Paul Wolfe have continued to massage on that race car to improve it. Rusty, I know you were looking at Christopher Bell after he made that late pit stop just a moment ago.
Yeah, he made that late pit stop and just got around Martin Truex Jr. to get himself back on the lead lap. So Christopher Bell, after getting busted for speeding and exiting pit row, is now back on the lead lap.
We're winding this one down, getting close to 40 to go. 43 actually right now at the moment. Truex, Larson, Logano, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, top 5.
Hey, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
Waking up, coming back to Victory Lane, doing media spot. That's kind of when it really sunk in that, hey, we accomplished something great.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
Chastain did a video game move, drove it and never lifted.
As well as break down the upcoming race weekend and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Coming around.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast
Closing in
to
on
stay
40
up to
to
date
go.
on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
39 laps to go. Next time by for race leader Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Larson feeling the pressure. Joey Logano right there all over his rear bumper as we see lightning flashing off in the distance, although it is quite a ways away here from the racetrack. Stay with us. The final 38 laps on deck from Richmond Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
From the infield garages to the race shops, NASCAR Hot Pass is your all-access ticket to the latest news from the sport.
Well, we got them down, now we put our foot on them. And that's the attitude you got to have.
I don't think it's a move that can have any success at Martinsville. I still don't know why it worked.
Stay up to date with all of your favorite drivers all year long.
That was talking about the Final Four
is what every driver in NASCAR's goals are.
NASCAR Hot Pass, weekday mornings from the Motor Racing Network.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
The final 35 laps tonight of the Toyota Owners 400 Richmond Raceway, live on the Motor Racing Network. Glad that you have spent your Sunday night with us. We're racing under the lights. It's been a good race. It's been dominated. Needless to say, 194 laps have been led by the man out front, Martin Truex Jr., trying to go to victory lane, trying to close it out. Easier said than done. Alex Hayden, a caution flag for any reason would turn this race potentially upside down.
Well, yeah, and it's not just that. These are cars. Even though they're prepared meticulously by some of the best mechanics and car builders on the planet, they're still machines, and little tiny things can go wrong unexpectedly. So that is something that every race car driver always thinks about, Rusty, when you get down to this stage in the race after dominating an event.
Oh, man, those mistakes. You know, we were doing the keys to racer earlier, and one thing I didn't hear the guys say is mistakes.
Second place,
man,
changing
just
hands.
Like in the race, you make a mistake and ruin your day. What a horrible deal that is, you know. I'm glad those guys made it through all the pit stops pretty good.
Logano around the 5 of Larson.
For a loose lug nut.
So moves Larson back to third.
Like that. Christopher Bell did do that, but he's recovered now. But yeah, you get this late in the race, especially for Martin Truex, you start hearing every leak and squeak, not call it a leak, you hear every squeak and noise the car can possibly make, and you're thinking, it's blowing up, something's going wrong. Really, when there's nothing going wrong, you're just overthinking it.
Well, there's nothing been wrong at all with Martin Truex Jr. here tonight. But, Mike Bagley, there is a new driver giving chase that just came recently to second.
And that driver is Joey Logano. He has found his way around Kyle Larson. Logano has taken second. Not only has he taken the second spot, but he has left Kyle Larson by about a dozen car lengths, as Kyle Larson just trying to get to the checkered flag here and with a finish inside of the top 5.
Larson is about 0.3 of a second a lap slower than second place Joey Logano. Logano in turn is actually running quicker lap times than Martin Truex Jr., but that is something you got to put into perspective. Yes, it's quicker than Truex, but only by about 3/100ths of a second.
But the fastest man on the racetrack, lap after lap, is up to 4th, and that is Denny Hamlin. Now, Denny has climbed the leaderboard.
30 to go.
He is 5 seconds behind his teammate and race leader. but Denny Hamlin right now is running about 0.3 of a second quicker than the leader. He's got fourth, Mike Bagley, but he is looking for third off turn number 2.
Question is, how much time does Denny Hamlin have left, and is the car poised to give him the results in the waning laps? He's got to get by Larson. He's there. Here's Hamlin looking to the inside of Larson in 4.
Larson has no fight in that car for Denny Hamlin at this point in the race. Hamlin drives right on by, puts a car length between himself and the front bumper of the Kyle Larson car.
Kyle Larson dropping anchor here in the late going tonight at Richmond. Denny Hamlin has wrestled his way to the bottom of the racetrack.
28 to go
He is
for Martin Truex Jr.
Larson, as Larson now will lose about maybe 3, now 4 car lengths to Hamlin after that exchange.
With 27 to go, it continues to be Truex over Logano by 3 seconds, but a fast closing Denny Hamlin now is up to third. Kyle Larson goes fourth in front of Bubba Wallace. Good night for Bubba tonight. He's been in and around fifth all night long. William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Josh Berry. That is your top 10 with only 16 cars on the lead lap.
With 25 laps to go in the Toyota Owners 400, and Truex still dominating this race. You're right about that. There's some names back there that have just been basically hanging on to the lead lap, essentially since the end of the first stage and on. And you look at guys like Noah Gragson, who's been a contender in the top 15 all night long. Ty Gibbs had a speeding penalty. He has not been able to recover from tonight. Tyler Reddick has basically been hovering around 12th to 15th. Ross Chastain was dead last in practice yesterday. He's been on the lead lap all night long, but he's not necessarily thrilled. But he is being scored on the lead lap in the 16th spot.
A pair of Hendrick Chevrolets took the field of the green flag here tonight, 377 laps ago. Joe Gibbs Racing would like to finish 1-2, Mike Bagley. In order to do that, Denny Hamlin will have to run down and pass Joey Logano, and he's getting closer.
Yeah, he is definitely on the march and doing that right now. He trails Joey by about 6 car lengths. Both of those drivers for now running by themselves on the racetrack.
Well, right now, Martin Truex Jr. is trying to get around Ross Chastain. Chastain does not want to go a lap down. He's really roughing up Truex. Truex just can't get around him. And with all that going on, it's letting Denny Hamlin run down Martin Truex. So Truex has got to do something quick and get around Chastain, or else he's going to get himself in trouble.
Yeah, he is. It's not just Ross Chastain that he's got to deal with. He's got to deal with the whole pack of traffic, including Justin Haley, who's in that mix as they all funnel over to turn 2.
Martin Truex Jr., a lot of lap traffic directly ahead of him, but Denny Hamlin has put the sails up in the wind, and he is rolling. He is shutting down the differential between himself and Logano. This will be the battle for second. They're now separated by a car length.
And they are closing in on Truex. Martin right now marred in lap traffic. It was 2.3 seconds the difference, Truex over Logano last lap. Mike, they've
Truex
cut
has
it
got
down
to get
by
rid of that
0.3
one car.
Because Truex still can't get around Ross Chastain. He can't even get to the back bumper yet. Once he gets past Chastain, he's got 5 others to get around, while Logano and Hamlin have no lap traffic to deal with.
You're right about that. Truex is trying to save his tires the most he can, but he's also going to have to get on the stick here. He's going to have to move around some of these lap cars.
One eye through the windshield, one eye in the rear view mirror. You got to watch the front and the back. And right now, Martin Truex Jr. still cannot get by Chastain and company, and that car is starting to fade. The Truex car is starting to slip and slide a bit on corner exit.
I just said that to Alex Hayden, Mike Bagley, that I don't think it's because he doesn't want to get by Ross. I'm not sure he can get by Ross. Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin slowly beginning to reel in the leader.
Truex just started to run to the inside of Chastain off of 2. He slipped, backs away, regroups. Now we'll try again on the straightaway.
Rusty Wallace, how challenging is this for Martin Truex Jr., knowing that the second and third place cars are closing in?
Oh man, this has got to be so frustrating to be leading all day long and looking so good. He's just got to get around Chastain and get in front of him. Now it looks like he's got it coming down the back straightaway. Going into turn 3, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but at least he got ahead of Chastain just
He's
then.
now ahead of Chastain.
Only by a little bit. Rusty Wallace, the NASCAR Hall of Famer, giving you a thought there on Martin Truex Jr. The advantage was almost 3 full seconds. They've cut it in half so far, Mike.
Truex has gotten around Ross Chastain. Now he goes to work on more lap traffic. Here's Truex. He'll bypass Daniel Hemrick. Kaz Grala now directly ahead.
He is. The laps getting fewer. We're down to 16 laps to go now.
16
Truex
to go this
in the
time.
middle of all that pack of lap traffic. Took
Working
him a while
on
to
that
get
lap
by
traffic.
3 of those cars. Now second place Logano, third place Hamlin are going to have to do the same.
Yeah, now Truex has gotten through the lap traffic, but Alex brings up a great point. This is the same traffic that the Logano and Hamlin cars will have to bypass, and they've not even gotten on the scene to deal with them yet.
Do they make it simple? Do they make it hard? The first one Logano will get to will be his teammate in Austin Cindric. Austin's going to move up the racetrack, and here comes Joey.
Here comes Joey. He'll look to the
15
inside
to go.
out of 2, but Joey has not gotten to Austin Cindric yet. Now, lap traffic double wide ahead. Cindric to the outside of Hemrick with Logano and Hamlin pressing the issue.
Hamlin looks again to the inside of Logano. Instead, for the moment, he's just going to ride the tire tracks of Joey Logano. They go to the inside of the lap traffic.
Logano dives it deep into the corner, just trying to get
31
by that
with a
lap
wiggle.
traffic.
That was Justin
Meanwhile,
Haley.
Truex is right in the middle of lap traffic in front of them. The separation between Truex and Logano, it's about a dozen car lengths with 2 lap cars in between.
Boy, it's time to burn them to the ground now. Use up everything you
Nine
have.
of Chase
Whatever
Elliott
you've
working
got
on the
left.
6 of
Lay it on the table
Keselowski.
right now.
That
Down
is
to
for 7.
13 laps to go. Truex, Logano, Denny Hamlin, top 3.
Truex still working the bottom of the racetrack out of 2. Logano, Hamlin doing the same thing. Lap traffic now settles down. Truex has got another one in front of him. That would be the Austin Dillon car.
Austin Dillon's not had the best of nights tonight. He understands the scenario. He'll look in the mirror, see the race leader begin to rapidly close in with 12 laps to go.
Dillon still holding his line at the bottom.
12 to
Truex
go.
doing the same. Chastain, after being passed by Truex and losing a lap, is still in connection and in contact with the leader. But here comes Logano, pouring on the coals, trying to get the lead from Truex.
A dozen laps ago, Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin were plus 3 seconds behind the race leader. They've cut it to 7/10. What does that mean? We'll stop using seconds because Joey Logano now is only 6 car lengths behind Martin Truex Jr.
Perhaps Joey Logano has saved a little in the tank for right now. Coming to 10 to go, and they are separated by 7 car lengths.
Third place Denny Hamlin has had about enough of Kaz Grala. He just ramrodded the back bumper of that car, shoved
Truex
him out of the
Jr.
way to
dealing
get
with
by.
lap
He's got some
traffic.
ground to make up to
He's working on
Logano.
the
Meanwhile,
Austin
up
Dillon
front,
car,
you
the
got
3
Truex
car.
getting tangled up with Austin Dillon for just a moment. That allows Logano to close in even more. Chastain, Dillon side by side between Truex and Logano.
10 to
How
go.
quickly can Logano
Truex
get by
gets by the
Dillon
3.
and then Ross Chastain? This could determine the outcome of this race. Joey Logano to the bottom of Austin Dillon. They'll pick him off, and now it's next up, Ross Chastain.
Here they come out of 2. Now the separation
9
between
to
the
go.
top 2, 7 car lengths. And the lap car of Ross Chastain between the both of them.
There'll be 8 laps to go in tonight's race. Martin Truex Jr. the leader. Logano has cleared Chastain. Next on the hit list for Joey Logano is the race leader. He's got 7 car lengths to make up.
Time is running out, and Logano is driving his car way deep into turn number 1. Both cars, bottom of the racetrack, 6 car lengths to separation. More lap traffic is directly ahead of the leader, Truex.
And that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He will go up the racetrack. No issue for Truex. He will blow by him. Joey Logano now will need to get by Ricky. For the moment, nobody around Martin Truex Jr.
Right now,
Truex Jr.
Joey Logano is
around
trying
that
to wedge his
47.
way under Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He'll make
7 to
short
go.
work of the Stenhouse car. Now Logano's got a clear shot of Truex with more lap traffic ahead of the leader.
6 laps to go. Put the advantage for Truex over Joey at about 5, maybe 6 car lengths. Across the line they go. The top 2, one of them in a Toyota, the other in a Ford. It's Martin and Joey Logano.
Logano took a different line out of 4 that time. It'll It'll gain him a car length. Now it's down to 5. Leaders on the back straightaway. Now Logano going to drive it in deep into 3 and angle in lower as he enters the corner.
Coming off turn 4, 5
laps to go this time.
Here at Richmond. More lap traffic on the horizon. One of those cars, the first to get there, will be Todd Gilliland.
Now it's down to 4 car lengths. Truex, Logano, private battle for the lead. Logano either overdrove the corner or he tried to diamond the corner. Drive it in straight, turn it, drive it straight off. It'll cost him a car length that time through.
4 laps to go here tonight at Richmond. The question is, can Joey Logano catch him? If he can catch him, can he pass him? Truex back in 1, 4 car lengths over Joey Logano. Joey's got 4 over Denny Hamlin.
Racing for the lead and the win. Denny Hamlin on the comeback trail, trying to catch
Hamlin
Logano
trying
for
to
second.
catch Logano
Truex
for second.
doing a good
Truex
job.
trying to
keeping
hold up Logano for the
second
lead.
at arm's length.
He is, as Denny Hamlin is actually closing in on Joey Logano now from the number 3 spot as they come to the line.
Coming to the line, 3 to go.
Truex up front, and he's beginning to extend the lead.
Now it's back to 7 car lengths, maybe even 8 over the course of the last lap and a half or so. But again, Truex has lap traffic to deal with. Will that lap traffic hold Truex up and allow Logano to close back in?
And that's Todd Gilliland
That is
first
the
in
Todd
line
Gilliland
for
car, the
Truex.
38.
2 to go.
2 to go this
right
time
behind
by.
Todd Gilliland. 1
Next time
more
by.
shot. 2 laps to go for Joey Logano.
Exclamation point, white flag in the chat.
Watching Joey Logano trying to shut it down.
Trouble!
Off the corner, it's Kyle Larson in
Kyle
the front
Larson.
straightaway. Larson spins. Caution is out with 2 to go. We're going to overtime at Richmond.
Caution is out. We're going overtime.
Truex Jr. It was Kyle Larson coming off turn 4. He got the car sideways.
An exclamation point, green, white,
and then
checker.
completely lost the back end and spun down to the wet grass. Larson finally able to grab a gear and drive away.
All we saw was smoke at the start-finish line. Kyle Larson racing side by side with Bubba Wallace. We go under the caution flag for the 5th time. Bubba getting into the
Oh my God.
Of Kyle Larson, and that
This
is
is
all it took.
overtime.
And Kyle Larson goes for a spin. You just watched it on NASCAR TV. Alex, your thoughts?
Bubba dumped Kyle Larson here on the front side right by the start
Oh,
finish line.
Bubba Wallace, you absolutely dumped Larson. Totally dumped Larson. No.
Off turn number 4, and Bubba pulled up on the back bumper and just ran into the back bumper and turned him. Boy, this is tough sledding now. Steve Post, do they dare come to pit road as we go to overtime?
Well, do they dare stay out on these old worn-out tires? Because that's the decision, and bless his heart, James Small, the crew chief for Martin Truex Jr., this is probably going to be a no-win situation. New tires mean so much. He is hoping if he stays out, 6 or 8 cars come in, but I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to see. I do know one who's coming in. Kyle Larson will come in, put some new tires on that car. We're going to have to see, though. This is a crew chief's nightmare right now if you're James Small, the race leader.
Can you imagine? All right, everybody wants to play Monday morning crew chief. Well, there's no time for that. You've got to make a decision right now. Do you give up the lead and come to pit road and potentially throw away a dominating performance? The answer is yes. Truex is on pit road.
Truex to pit lane.
Is there.
They definitely called this one the money stop. Right side tires going on for Martin Truex Jr. Was not happy with the handling of the race car in traffic. He was very tight. Took him a long time to get around some cars in front of him. A little slow on the left rear. It's a drag race off the pit lane here on this end between him and Joey Logano. Steve Post.
Here's Kyle Larson in that very first pit box. Bubba
10-3, 10-3 for both Truex and Logano. Drag race off pit lane.
And we'll see who's going to do it. Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin, 9.8.
Truex goes out second. Logano goes out third. Chase Elliott and William Byron go out side by side. How about the Denny Hamlin crew? They're fist bumping, they're high-fiving, they're jumping up and down here. Denny Hamlin's crew wins the battle off from pit road.
They absolutely do. What a job by Denny Hamlin's pit crew down there, led by Chris Gabehart and that entire team. The front tire changer, A.J. Rossini, the gas man, Kenneth Purcell, Jackman, Joel Alexandra. Rear tire changer is Devin Yoker. Tire carrier, Dylan Dowell. What a stop they just ripped off.
And if you want to see people pump their fist, high five, all you had to do is look into the 11 pit because they knew They had ripped off a stop that put their driver out front, but not first. They got him off of pit road first. Ross Chastain did not pit.
Chastain staying
electing
out.
to gamble here.
He was a lap down, so he's going to come to pit road, I believe, here very soon.
All right, so
he was
we'll
a lap
keep
down.
an eye on that. As a matter of fact, there he is coming to pit road. Good eye.
There he is.
Alex Hayden.
Ross
Chastain will give
coming
up.
in.
You knew he had to. He'd be a sitting duck out there. It's Denny Hamlin at the front of the field. Truex, Logano, Larson, William Byron, all because of a bump and run. Bubba Wallace in to Kyle
More like
Larson,
a dump and run.
and that has changed the complexion of 400-plus laps.
It absolutely did. Now we're going to get ourselves an old-fashioned Richmond shootout here. By the way,
on new tires.
On new tires, and this is the first race this year that's going into overtime in the NASCAR Cup
first
Series.
overtime this
And,
season.
Oh boy. Grab your seat now and just sit on it for the moment, because these fans here at Richmond are going to stand up once we go back under the green flag.
You know, we talk about Clay Campbell, we talk about Martinsville Speedway. If there's a ticket left when we get there, I'll be disappointed. They just put on such a great show when we get to the short tracks. Martinsville up next, and it does not disappoint. The half-mile paperclip to Martinsville Speedway. Let's get it out to Mike Bagley as we see a ton of cars taking a wave around. More than likely, they will not be a factor in this one, Mike, because the cars up front, well, they're locked and loaded, and they've got 4 brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles on board.
Well, this is an interesting set of circumstances we have now, don't we? We've got Denny Hamlin, who has, I believe, led the first laps all night long under these conditions. Truex, Logano, Larson, William Byron's in the fray. Haven't talked about him a lot tonight. Chase Elliott is right in the mix of all this.
Chase Elliott now in 6th.
Makings of being a dandy. Buckle up, everybody. She's going to get rough before it gets smooth. I can't wait for this green flag to fly here in a few minutes.
Green flag, white flag, checkered flag. Overtime in NASCAR. If they take the white flag, if the leader takes the white flag,
next
then we keep
flag
racing to the checkered unless there's a caution. If the caution comes out after the leader takes the white, the field is frozen. Whoever's up front wins the race. However, we take the green flag and a caution comes out before the race leader gets to the white flag. We'll line them up and do it all over again.
So stand by. As a matter of fact, everybody here at Richmond is standing by. Why not? This is going to be, Alex Hayden, something special.
It really is, as the pace car makes its way to pit road. Green, white, checker.
Exclamation point, restart in the chat.
Raceway, overtime to settle it. Denny Hamlin and his teammate
Here we
Martin
go.
Jr. They see the green flag, and we are underway. 2 to go here at Richmond in overtime. Hamlin trying to get away from his teammate.
Side by side for the lead. Hamlin on the bottom. Truex up top. Hamlin's going to run it wide. Hamlin now comes off the wall as they race off the end of the back straightaway. Cars bumping and grinding back to the corner.
Off turn 4, Denny Hamlin has the lead. White flag is in the air. Next flag ends it.
Next
Hamlin
flag ends
by
it.
a car length. Here comes Joey Logano.
Joey Logano down to the inside of the racetrack. He'll power underneath Martin Truex Jr. He'll take second. Truex under fire for third. Logano with one final shot for Hamlin and the win at Richmond.
Checkered flag.
Checkered flag
flies.
flies.
Start finish line out front when it mattered the most, thanks to a wicked fast pit stop, and Denny Hamlin across
and
the
it's
line,
Hamlin,
and he will win the Toyota Owners 400. They're crashing now further back going into turn number 1.
Hamlin wins
Denny
at Richmond
over Joey Logano,
over Logano, Larson,
Martin
Martin Truex Jr.,
and
Chase Elliott, top 5.
Denny Hamlin
Then it's
has
Bell,
won.
Byron,
Let the
Keselowski,
celebration
Josh
and
Berry,
well-deserved
and
postman
Chris
begin.
Buescher.
Yes, indeed, they are celebrating down here. Denny Hamlin cued the radio and said, team, team, team. That's why, Chris Gabehart, how about that team win for you guys tonight?
I'm just so proud of this group. I mean, how much fun they're having. It's evident in everyone I talk to, everyone I see, every pit crew member.
Wow. 53rd career win for Denny Hamlin. And with that, it's on to Martinsville. I will see you tomorrow night for the Mets and the Tigers. See you later. Peace.